Report, 80%. Chapter 66. Kill Doro, the tyrannical special life. Everyone guessed at will and laughed lightly. In their cognition, unless they are top 50 monsters on the genius list, no domain master can take this trick. However, the cyan energy dissipated, and two huge figures soon appeared. Jin Feng, he's not dead yet. It was the plant life that helped him catch this move. Doro looked in disbelief at Jin Feng, who was still alive and well. His eyes were full of disbelief. This move is comparable to a random blow of a junior world lord, and its power is unfathomable, far beyond what a domain lord can follow. Although this Jin Feng's strength has improved, he is still only a domain master, and his strength is only ranked in the middle among all geniuses. Jin Feng didn't give Doro a chance to react, he just reached out to Min. Superior. A vine from the purple vine was drawn, and 5 dragon beasts rushed up at the same time. Snapped. With a soft sound, Doro's body, which was still hidden in the air, was shaken to the ground by a whip from the purple vine. Impossible. How could he see through my innate secret technique? Oh 9. Doro spit out blood and fled backwards in embarrassment, his eyes filled with horror. No, I have to run away. The purple plant life, just a random blow, shattered my body protection treasure and was seriously injured. It is definitely the existence of a world master. Damn it, why would such a strong person help Jin Feng? Damn it. You can't resist, you must run away. After making up his mind, Doro turned into a long rainbow, and wanted to leave in embarrassment. However, just after flying less than 1,000 meters, it was crushed by a Kuo Sha that fell from the sky. Want to run? Leave it to me. Jin Feng looked at Doro with a sneer, his eyes full of killing intent. Jin Feng, you can't kill me, my ancestor is an immortal god. If you kill me, the ancestor will definitely kill you at all costs. Ah, damn, Jin Feng, you really deserve to die. My ancestor is, a cry of pain came from Doro's mouth, and it became weaker and weaker, as if he was going to die in the next second. Seeing this, a bald man emerged from the crowd following Doro, and said to Jin Feng. Jin Feng, you have tortured enough, but you can't kill him, his family has immortal gods. Once the immortal gods are enraged and condemned, I'm afraid you will feel that death is an extravagant hope in the future. Even if you have a world lord to help you, it's not enough. Immortal gods can kill tens of thousands of worlds with just one hand. Hearing this, Jin Feng smiled coldly. If I don't kill him, but Doro wants to kill me, do I have to wash my neck and kill him? What about immortal gods? If you want to kill me, let them do it. After all, he just waved his hand. The dragon beast in the air suddenly waved endless blade light, strangling Doro, who was still threatening, into a ball of ashes. Did you really kill Daoi? Jin Feng is finished. Although Jin Feng is very powerful, it is a mistake to dare to offend the immortal gods. It's a pity, the strength that Jin Feng has displayed can be called the top 100 in the Tiantuan rankings. No, it's not that Jin Feng is powerful, it's just that the purple plant life is powerful. Jin Feng was crushed and beaten by Doro. I have reported to Doro's family, I believe they will come soon. Jin Feng is dead. There were many discussions, but Jin Feng just put away Doro's world ring and data terminal, and then left without looking back. Immortal god. For Jin Feng, of course he is very strong, even now he has no experience of resisting at all. That kind of existence, with just one look, can kill thousands of domain masters. Even if he has the combat power comparable to the world lord, he is nothing but an ant in front of a mortal. Jin Feng has avatars, and all incarnations of the endless tree can become avatars to give birth to the deity again. This kind of life-saving strength, even if it is immortal, it will be a headache. And Jin Feng's avatars are all over the place. Whether it is the Wuong galaxy in the original universe, or everywhere in the chaotic source world, or even in the space interlayer in the secret realm, they all exist. The immortal crystal reserve in the stellar battlefield can easily allow me to have an almost endless supply of divine power. Thus, even if I have no sense of the law in a short period of time, I can still use this huge immortal crystal to forcefully cultivate the purple vine to the level of the world. You must know, human beings, starry sky behemoths and other beings, if they want to step into the realm master, they need to feel the law of origin and comprehend it. But special life is the darling of the universe, so as long as you accumulate enough, you can break through the realm master in one fell swoop. Although the great power of law is missing, most of the special beings can also be realized from the day after tomorrow, and it is easier to feel emotionally. This kind of talent is really enviable. And once the purple vine steps into the realm master, its strength can be compared to an immortal existence. Even ordinary immortals are unmatched, only the Marquis Immortal can ravage it, and the King Immortal can defeat it, even unable to kill special lives such as Violet Rattan Balls. Only the Universe Lord can kill the special life Purple Vine of the World Master level. This is the power of special life. Moreover, with the supply of immortal crystal, Jin Feng can expand his inner world at will and no longer have to worry about restricting the growth of Endless Tree and Violet Kuo. However, although he doesn't care much about the forces behind the so-called Doro, Jin Feng still hopes that one thing more is worse than one thing less. After all, I still covet the resources given by Feng Du Immortal. At the very least, in these tens of thousands of years, nothing will happen. After beheading Duo Luo, Jin Feng wandered around in this secret realm, occasionally seeing some geniuses, and quickly took action to snatch them away. Therefore, in less than 1,000 years, Jin Feng has gained a certain reputation among the geniuses in this swamp. Rumor has it that Jin Feng brought a World Lord plant life assistant, who is an aborigine in this secret realm. I don't know what Jin Feng promised to let him help. Therefore, many geniuses wanted to recruit Violet, but all failed without exception. Thousands of years have passed like this. On a mountain peak, Jin Feng was sitting cross-legged, carefully comprehending the laws of heaven and earth, but heard a reminder. Ding! Contestant Jin Feng, this trial has ended. Please return to the exit of the secret realm within 3 years. It's over. It's fine. With a thought, Jin Feng put the Purple Vine clone beside him back into the inner world, and then flew in the direction guided by him. Within 2 years, he saw a huge square standing in midair. On the square, the geniuses gathered here, and they were calculating the points accumulated in this trial. Ashwood Wong, points, 2,153. Report, 80%. Chapter 67. Tens of millions of points, everyone is shocked. Unwashed Lord, points, 158,751. Fire King, points, 25,474. A personal figure stepped forward and handed a human World Lord his own data terminal. After the World Lord checked it, he would indifferently pop out a number, which represented their final points, which was also their ranking. The human world leader seemed very impatient. After all, this kind of counting work was too embarrassing for his identity, but since it was a task arranged by Feng Du Immortal himself, he had to do it. Just seemed very careless. Suddenly, the human realm lord read a name with a hint of satisfaction in his tone. Zhu Jiaohe, points, 1786247, the ranking before applying is the 10th among all geniuses. There was a sudden commotion in the crowd. The 9 Flood River is here. Is that the top 5 monsters on the talent list, Zhao He? Long spear, blue scales all over, and a tail, that's right, it's the Zhujiao River. I heard that he has comprehended a law of the original water, and his strength is unfathomable. For a peak domain master like me, he can kill hundreds of them with just a flip of his hand. Only in the period of the domain master, can you comprehend a law of origin. It's really terrifying. It is said that even Feng Du Immortal attaches great importance to his talent, and occasionally gives pointers. Na Zhu Jiaohe is a tall human being, about 3 meters tall. His limbs and body are surrounded by blue scales. He has a big tail. His face is cold and arrogant. He holds a long spear, facing everyone's discussion and admiration, always behaved lightly. That's right, Zhu Jiaohe, you eliminated a total of 200,000 geniuses this time, and Feng Du Immortal is full of praise for you. As long as you practice for a while, it's not too difficult compared to stepping into the Realm Master. Although the human world master is impatient with other people, he is very warm and polite to Zhu Jiaohe. After all, it is only a matter of time before a genius like Zhu Jiaohe ranks among the top 5 talents in the entire Feng Du Star area, and becomes a world master. Once you step into the Realm Master, its strength is much stronger than him. How can you not be enthusiastic about it? When Zhu Jiaohe heard the human world master's approval, he just nodded slightly to express his response. Being so negligent, the human world master didn't seem annoyed at all, but became more enthusiastic. He didn't stop until Zhu Jiaohe walked aside and continued to inquire about other people's data terminals. Moda, points, 24874. Lord Tianxin, points, 68,758. The human world master was chanting methodically, and suddenly his eyes lit up. Why did these few suddenly come here in a group? Before the words were finished, several tyrannical auras descended from the sky. It was a team of people, about 6 or 7 people. There were men and women, different in pride, fat and thin. The only thing in common is that as soon as the aura on their bodies is exposed, the surrounding geniuses even have difficulty breathing, as if the flowing air has turned into steel. My God, why do these few appear in groups? The King of Tongzhou, the Lord of Lishan, Bamo, Zishan, Yali, and Melodiz, these are all the top 10 existences on the genius list. How could they be mobilized together? Could it be hunting together? Nonsense. If they are dispatched together, how can there be anyone else? That's right, and these geniuses on the list are all very proud. How could they do such a thing? A group of people did not explain to the others, they just walked straight forward, and the crowd automatically branched out away, not daring to obstruct it in the slightest. Seeing this, the human realm master had a brighter smile on his face. It's rare for you to show up together and haven't done anything yet. Come over here, I'll check Jillian for you. The human realm master collected the data terminals of these people and looked at them one by one. Bronze Hill King, points, 2579458. Pull the Demon, points, 1578457. Lord Leishan, points, 2148975. After reading one by one, the crowd was in a commotion. All are more than 1 million points. My God, how many people did they eliminate? It's impossible to collect so many points just by eliminating geniuses, and I'm afraid they will massacre the natives and rob the treasures of heaven and earth. No wonder it is said that the top 10 geniuses are all monsters, and they have all comprehended at least one law of origin. It's not surprising. The entire Fengdu Star region is so big, and the top domain masters are all gathered here. It's normal to have such a terrifying talent. Fengdu Immortal said that they are the most likely person to impact Immortal. A group of people were discussing, when suddenly a discordant voice came. It was the human realm master, staring at his own data terminal, with an expression of disbelief on his face. He could only spit out a few words mechanically. Jin Feng, points, quote. The human realm lord confirmed it several times before arriving at this appalling number. Thousands of points. How did this happen? For a moment, all eyes were fixed on Jin Feng, making the latter feel a little strange. The human realm master checked on the data terminal for a long time, then frowned suddenly, and asked in a cold voice, Jin Feng, have you cheated? Players like Jin Feng are generally ranked above 200,000, and they are just above average talents, not worth mentioning. As far as the human world masters are concerned, there are only the top 100 geniuses on the genius list, so maybe they need to pay a little attention, and the rest can be scolded at will. With Jin Feng's strength, even if he can collect tens of thousands of points, it is quite remarkable. Even for other people, it is reasonable for Jin Feng to be eliminated. And these tens of millions of points. Either the terminal is broken, and if you want money, it must be Jin Feng cheating. After all, those top 10 existences on the talent list only have 1 million points each, and they wantonly plundered, and by the way, they have acquired natural talents and earthly treasures. You have a meager rank of 200,000, and you have tens of millions of points. If you say you didn't cheat, who will believe it? The reprimand of the human world lord came, and at the same time, it was followed by the gloating of the surrounding people. 10 million points. This person really dares to think. It must have been cheating. Maybe it's a resource provided by the family. I don't know how to restrain myself a little bit, but unexpectedly came up with such an exaggerated number. I recognize him. His name is Jin Feng. He is in the same hunting area as me, and it is said that he has robbed a lot of genius points. Jin Feng's expression was flat, and he remained calm in the face of the coercion of a world lord. He said indifferently, I didn't cheat. These data can be queried in history. You can check it yourself. Report, 80%. Chapter 69. Sapphire Cold Marrow, the final battle. After all, treasures that can cleanse the soul are extremely rare in the entire universe, and they are also very useful. Most lives are born with souls, and even some lives regard it as the source of life. The death of the soul also means the death of a life. The stronger the soul, the higher the talent in spirit and enlightenment. In other words, the strength of the soul has a considerable relationship with comprehending the original law. This is also the reason why Sapphire Cold Marrow can be sought after by so many people. Jin Feng smiled slightly, flipped his hand and took out a drop of viscous light green liquid. This green jade cold marrow, as the current number 1 position, I can receive 3 drops every 1,000 years. Let's try it first. Jin Feng swallowed the sapphire cold marrow in one gulp. As soon as the liquid entered the stomach, it was as if endless ice was smashing into Jin Feng's body, exuding terrifying power. The cold air may easily kill a peak domain master. No wonder it is only rewarded to the top 500 people. Even if other domain masters get it, they probably don't have the ability to enjoy it. Jin Feng couldn't help but sigh with emotion, mobilized his divine power, cut the power of the sapphire cold marrow, and then filled it directly to all parts of his body. Not long after, Jin Feng felt as if the cold air possessed his body, and he was surrounded by an inexplicable refreshing feeling, as if his soul had been washed and sublimated, and people couldn't help but want to shout out. Jin Feng released his divine sense and carefully felt the changes in himself. Sure enough, my understanding of the law has deepened embarrassingly. If this continues, if I use another 200 drops of this jade cold marrow, I will definitely be able to comprehend a law of origin. Jin Feng was very pleasantly surprised. It's no wonder these people are dreaming of Qingyu Hansui. This kind of heaven-defying effect is too eye-catching. Jin Feng's talent can be said to be ordinary. Of course, this ordinary is only relative. As a behemoth in the starry sky, Jin Feng was born very powerful, and he could grow steadily into a domain master after he became an adult. But if you want to go one step further, it will be difficult. The first is resources. Most of the starry sky behemoths are homeless. Although there is an alliance of starry sky behemoths, very few can be found. No resources can be used. No matter how powerful the strength and development talent are, they will be buried. And this problem, Jin Feng has already solved. The massive immortal crystal space is the most extravagant resource in the entire universe. It's just that Jin Feng is still envious of rare treasures like sapphire cold marrow. The second is talent. Compared to those heaven-defying human beings who could comprehend one or even multiple laws of origin only in the domain master period, Jin Feng's talent could be described as extremely mediocre. But fortunately, I have endless time to share. Jin Feng is very confident. Suddenly, a message came. The next game is also the last one. In the form of a challenge stargazing tower. That's interesting. The format of the next game is very simple, that is to challenge the forbidden area of the observation tower. This star observation tower is not only home to tens of billions of lives, it is also a treasure. It is said that it was a reward from a certain ancestor of Fengdu Immortal, and then it was transformed with several immortal beings together, and it has great power. One of them is imprisonment and sealing. In Fengdu Immortal's endless lifespan, he had many enemies. Some were killed, but some were captured alive by Fengdu Immortal and imprisoned in the star observation tower, as a test for his own faction or descendants, just like domestic animals. Jin Feng continued to read. The restricted area of the star observation tower is divided into 999 floors. The higher the number of floors, the stronger the enemy's strength. In 10,000 years, the person who has passed the highest number of floors will be ranked higher. And this competition is the last battle of this genius battle. After this battle, all previous results will be added together, and then the best score will be selected, and Fengdu Immortal will personally give rewards. The reward is 3,000 drops of sapphire cold marrow, and millions of cosmic crystals. It's nothing more than a cosmic crystal. I have an immortal crystal, which is of higher quality and strength. It's just this sapphire cold marrow. There is really nothing else that can replace it. I must have it. Thinking of this, Jin Feng felt a burst of fire in his heart. However, you can't underestimate your opponent. After all, in the game, you can't show the purple vine clone at will. Once the avatar is exposed, I will have one less whole card, and when I face old guys like Fengdu Immortal, I will have no confidence. That's right, Jin Feng has already begun to think about how to deal with Fengdu Immortal and others. Ask for flowers 0. It wasn't that he was worrying too much, but that Jin Feng noticed something strange. Even though it is called Hunyuan World, why does Immortal Gangdu claim that this secret realm was opened up by him? Moreover, let all the domain owners go to collect the treasures of heaven, material and earth. Fengdu Immortal seems to know what is hidden inside. Could it be that he knows about the secrets in that stellar battlefield? What worries Jin Feng the most is that he once beheaded a descendant who is said to be an immortal god, Doro. I don't know if the immortal god really cares about this descendant. After all, there are quite a few strong people, and their offspring are counted in millions, so it's not a big deal to die a few. If every descendant had to die, then immortal god would probably be at a loss. However, Nadolo's talent is quite amazing, and it is not ruled out that he is very fond of the immortal gods, and even focuses on cultivating them. I can only hope. There is no time for immortality. Jin Feng sighed. According to the usual practice, after 100 years of cultivation. Star observation tower, outside the restricted area. A group of people looked forward to it. A film of light that spanned thousands of miles fell suddenly, wrapping the front, and reaching everyone's ears at the same time. The restricted area has been opened, you can enter by yourself. After finishing speaking, a group of people couldn't wait to rush into the light film, and their figures disappeared. Seeing this, Jin Feng also ran towards the light. After a while, Jin Feng felt dizzy for a while, and when he realized it, he had already come to a closed space. This space is very dark, but there are no light sources around. Jin Feng looked around casually, and then lost interest. Just when he was feeling puzzled, he saw a figure in battle clothes suddenly appearing in front of him. These figures seemed to be made of bronze, with endless flames burning on their bodies, holding a spear in their hands, and their faces are indifferent and full of murderous weapons. Fire puppet. Jin Feng was a little surprised. This fire torture puppet is a very precious kind of puppet. Its strength can even compare to that of the 6th level domain master, and it is usually bought by some big groups and used as bodyguards or guards. Of course, for Jin Feng and the others, this burning puppet has almost no threat. Report. 81%. Chapter 70. The restricted area is open, the 3 immortal bets. Kill. The 3 burning puppets shouted angrily at the same time, and rushed towards Jin Feng. But Jin Feng just waved his hand casually, a golden rainbow descended from the sky, and killed the 3 burning puppets. At the same time, a voice echoed in the air. Congratulations, you have passed the first floor, do you want to enter the next floor? Yes. Jin Feng did not hesitate. Call out. In the blink of an eye, the scene in front of him changed and turned into a boundless ocean. But before Jin Feng had time to look around, 10 mermaid-like domain masters jumped out of the ocean and attacked Jin Feng. Are you here to torture us too? Outsiders. The leader was very angry, and forked the trident in his hand without hesitation. Too weak. Although Jin Feng was attacked by surprise, the difference in strength between the two sides was 0, and the gap was too great, so the 10 mermaids turned into nothingness with only a slight activation of divine power. These previous checkpoints can at most cause a little headache for the existence of high-level domain masters, and even geniuses who rank above 500,000 will not feel any hindrance. You still have to look at the floors behind. After all, one floor is more difficult than the other. Jin Feng nodded secretly. At the same time, the upper floor of the Star Observation Tower. A few phantoms lingering with a terrifying aura, seeing the domain masters struggling to climb up the floors in the Star Observation Tower, communicated casually. That's right, as I expected, King Tongcho's speed is still the fastest. 17. The enchanting woman Mo Li Immortal said casually. Lord Lishan under my Shen Huo command is also good, second only to King Tongcho. Feng Du was also smiling slightly, and suddenly turned his head again, looking at the huge figure. Shen Huo, who do you think will get the best result in this competition? Before Feng Du could speak, he was interrupted by Mo Li. Of course he is the king of Tongcho. He has been sitting at the top of the talent list all year round. According to my observation, he is also the strongest among them. Shen Huo nodded slightly. It's true, the talent of this Copper Hill King is very great. His original ethnic group was just an indigenous planet, and he didn't even join the universe country, but he was found by a universe-level power by chance, and he accepted as an apprentice. I didn't expect his talent to be so terrifying. He reached the peak of domain master in just 100,000 years, and even realized 2 original laws. Although they are very superficial, they are also very remarkable. Those are the 2 original principles. Its strength, no one can match. But, Shen Huo smiled, and suddenly changed the topic. However, the secret technique of the king of Tongcho is really not very good. After all, he is only from an indigenous planet. It is not comparable to Lord Lishan. He has obtained countless resources and secret technique practice since he was a child. Now he can even urge the star map, the 9th floor. Hearing this, Mo Li and Hefeng looked slightly sideways. I remember that star map is your unique skill, which is divided into 18 levels. Among them, the first 6 levels can be learned during the Domain Master period, and the 7th to 12 levels can be practiced during the World Master period. The last 10 Kangs can only be practiced by immortality. Then Lord Lishan is so smart that he can practice to the 9th floor in the period of the Domain Master. No wonder Shen Huo is so confident. Feng Du Immortal was emotional, but he smiled and said, one of you is optimistic about King Tongcho, the other is optimistic about Lord Lishan, but I am optimistic about Jinfeng. Golden Peak. Is that the lucky boy Jin Feng? The 2 immortals frowned slightly, especially Shen Huo, who thought for a while before saying, Shen Huo, don't look at that kid, he got tens of millions of points in the secret realm last time, but he was lucky and accidentally I saw a broken immortal crystal for a while. For this Jin Feng, Shen Huo is not very optimistic. Although he picked up an immortal crystal in the secret realm and handed it in, so Feng Du had to give him a very high score, but when it comes to strength, Shen Huo has never seen Jin Feng have any impressive achievements. Therefore, in the eyes of everyone, it was just luck that Jin Feng got the first place. As long as the restricted area of the Star Observation Tower is opened, it will soon show its feet and fall. Feng Du shook his head. Actually, this Jinfeng is not that simple. Since you don't believe it, how about we take a gamble? I bet 3 million immortal crystals, and bet that Jin Feng's score will be the highest in the end. Shen Huo and Mo Li were taken aback for a moment, they couldn't believe it. Feng Du, are you crazy? Do you want to give us so many immortal crystals for nothing? Feng Du was noncommittal, just said, I don't know if you dare or not. Dare, of course you dare. Since you want to give me the immortal crystal, then I will not be polite. I was going to the Sanhua secret realm, but I was worried that the storage of the immortal crystal would not be enough. I wanted to buy it everywhere, but I didn't expect you to give it to me. Here comes the door. Shenhuo laughed loudly. I also bet 3 million immortal crystals, betting that Lord Lishan under my command will win. Mo Li also laughed softly. Since the two of you have such high qualities, take me to take out 3 million immortal crystals as a bet, and I will bet on the king of Tongzhou. The three giants unintentionally placed a huge gamble. But the few people who are pawns are fighting in the restricted area of the Star Observation Tower. Outside the restricted area, well, I reached the 97th floor at most, and I was overwhelmed by the endless insect nests. Although the strength of each of those insect races is no more than the first rank of the domain master, they are endless. I killed more than 300 of them, but still eliminated. My score is only 101 level. I am a realm master who has mastered the three major secrets. Even within my star field, my strength is still ranked first. In this way, I only broke through 101 floors. It's too strong. As soon as the one-eyed titan raised his hand, I was eliminated. Why is the level of 100 floors so terrifying? I thought I was a genius, but I didn't expect that I only broke through the 90th floor. It's a shame. I'd better go back and practice. Downcast figures appeared around the Star Observation Tower. Most of the geniuses who came to 3.5 to break into the restricted area have already been eliminated, and most of them were brushed down between the 80th floor. Only a small part can go up to the restricted area of 100 floors. However, the more you go to the back floors, the more difficult it is. It is only about 100 floors, and its difficulty is no less than that of defeating a domain master peak existence. However, even so, there are still very few people who are persisting. Those who were eliminated also looked at the past. Every battle has videos and live broadcasts, which can be watched through the Virtual Universe Network. The king of Tongzhou actually killed the 230th floor. It's too terrifying. This kind of strength is not the third in the genius list. And the king of Tongzhou still has the power to spare. Look at him, he can handle it with ease. Report, 81%. Chapter 71. King Tongzhou and Lord Alexandra, strong opponents. Among the restricted areas, the 230th floor. The king of Tongzhou is a red-haired human with a one horn and a height of about 2 meters. In other places, he is not much different from other human beings in the universe. In front of him is an endless tide of blood demon enemies. These gore fiends are naturally bloodthirsty, and their reproductive ability is as amazing as that of Zerg race. Their strength, every gore fiend is at least Tier 3 territory master. The endless blood demons also have their own natural secrets, and every attack can absorb divine power to feed themselves. It can be said that once the scale of the Gorfiend takes shape, even a party's overlord will have a headache. But the king of Tongzhou looked at the blood demon that was killing like an ocean in front of him. His face was flat, and two different colors suddenly shot out from his body. One piece of gold, one piece of Tianwang. With the burst of two completely different colors, the bloodthirsty expressions on the faces of those blood demons who were approaching the king of Copper Hill suddenly transformed into a deep fear, screaming and wanting to leave, but they haven't waited. After running a few steps, the two rays of light that were as heavy as mountains were suppressed. Boom. Within 10,000 miles, countless blood demons turned into puddles of powder 11 and scattered with the wind. Seeing this scene, the people on the sidelines couldn't help being shocked. It's too powerful. The two original principles are activated together, and they can kill millions of blood demons. The king of Tongzhou deserves to be number 1 on the talent list. His strength is unfathomable. HMPH. What is number 1? Now the number 1 is Jin Feng. Jin Feng. I've heard that that kid was lucky enough to pick up a piece of good stuff and offer it up. His strength is not worth mentioning at all. I don't think so. You see, Jin Feng still insists on not being eliminated. Oh, it seems to be the same, you see. In the restricted area, the 197th floor. The enemy Jin Feng faced was a stone statue. This stone statue is about 100 meters high. It is made of thick stones and covered with moss. However, every time Jin Feng completely destroyed it, the stone statue would be reassembled again, as if it had an immortal body. Damn it, this stone statue must be condensed by the power of law. I didn't even see his core. That is to say, I must have a certain sense of the law, otherwise no matter how many times I defeat this stone statue, it will be reassembled. Jin Feng was troubled in his heart. With his current combat strength, relying on Jin Yangqi and Violet Vine, he can completely fight against the middle-level world masters, and even be invincible. But as for the law, Jin Feng has not even scratched the surface. Therefore, Jin Feng is stuck at this level and can no longer climb up. At the same time, the crowd who saw this scene roared with laughter. Let me just say, Jin Feng is nothing more than that. However, being able to break into the 197th floor is considered very powerful. That's right, most people can only break into about 100 floors, and Jin Feng is considered very powerful. No matter how powerful it is, it can't compare to the King of Bronze Hill. That's right, compared to King Tongzhou and Lord Lishan, what is Jin Feng? Seeing Jin Feng so devastated, this group of people felt refreshed for a while, as if they were the Tongzhong King and Lord Lishan. But at this moment, someone suddenly shouted, "Look, Lord Lishan has overtaken King Tongzhou." What? Lord Lishan actually entered the 234th floor first. Restricted area, floor 234. Lord Lishan was a bald man about 5 meters tall, wearing a blue robe, his face was covered by secret patterns, he had no white eyes, and his pupils were astonishingly gray. The enemies he met on the 234th floor were a group of armored soldiers, all of them were wearing black armor, holding long spears, and wearing golden crowns. The aura emanating from their bodies was comparable to the peak of the city lord. Moreover, when the 9 soldiers of this team were united together, they actually gave off bursts of chilling evil spirits. Seeing this scene, some people couldn't help but change their expressions. It's really strange that it's Tiandue. What is Tiandue? You don't know this. Tiandue is a kind of puppet creature that can only exist from immortality and is refined with immortality crystal. Although it is only the peak level of the domain master, it can become more and more powerful in the process of fighting the enemy. The stronger it is, the easier it is to break through the world lord. The most important thing is that although they are divided into a team of 9 puppets, once they form in formation, they can be transformed into a whole. The 9 peak domain masters can fight against the junior realm masters. Hearing this, some people were shocked, and at the same time expressed their own opinions. Then, when fighting with this kind of Tiandue, you must not fight, otherwise they will become more and more powerful. You can take them down with just one blow. Someone sneered and said, "It's easy to say, but if it were really that easy, it wouldn't be a puppet that can only be refined by immortality." At the same time, Lord Lishan looked at the 9 puppets exuding evil spirits in the restricted area, and felt a burst of doubt in his heart. The upper level is guarded by a strange beast who masters elementary laws. Why is there only 9 peak domain masters on this level, and the difficulty has dropped? No matter what, Lord Lishan would not underestimate the enemy, and immediately waved his hand to summon the law to descend, intending to shock and kill all the puppets in front of him. A roar came out from the mouths of the 9 puppets at the same time, and streaks of black light suddenly lit up on their bodies. With the strength of the light, the aura of the 9,853 puppets seemed to merge together, rising suddenly, even approaching the realm of breaking through the peak of the domain master. Kill. The 9 puppets shot together, and the tip of the spear stabbed at Lord Lishan. This blow shocked Lord Lishan secretly. This attack is even more terrifying than the power of the law that descends from me, and it must not be resisted. Lord Lishan hurriedly mobilized his divine power and fled in one direction in embarrassment, not forgetting to use the power of law to fight against the puppet. Although the puppet's attack was powerful, facing the power of the law, he could only spare part of his mind to fight it, which just gave Lord Lishan a chance to dodge. This puppet actually fused all the power together. How exaggerated this kind of strength can even fight against the World Lord in the early stage. Lord Lishan looked at the group of armored puppets from a distance, and felt even more afraid in his heart. Just one move made me into such a mess. And, their aura seems to be getting stronger. Could it be that they will grow? It's really scary. No, I can only use my whole card, otherwise I will be eliminated here today. After making up his mind, Lord Lishan took a deep breath, and then a strange color suddenly bloomed in his eyes, matching with his gray pupils. There was a unique aura. Report. 81%. Chapter 72. The 235th floor, the strongest opponent. It seems that the sky is full of stars, and life and death have been revolving from ancient times to the present, carrying a distant and ancient and wild atmosphere. In an instant, the gray-white pupils of Lord Lishan seemed to have turned into 2 stars, and endless star patterns appeared faintly beside it. Star map. Now, 99 small stars emerged beside Lord Lishan, each of which carried an astonishing mass, and they moved along a mysterious trajectory like real stars lying in the starry sky. Smash. Hoo-hoo. The 99 small new stars suddenly froze for a moment, and then they all roared and flew towards the 9 puppets, extremely fast. Kill. Seeing this, the puppets wanted to raise their guns to resist, but when their spears touched those small stars, they were distorted by a strange suction force and couldn't stand up, and the entire formation was instantly broken. Puff puff. Small stars, like raindrops, smashed towards the puppets, but the puppets only persisted for less than a moment before being smashed to pieces and disappearing from the scene immediately. Congratulations, you have passed the 234th floor. Do you want to enter the next floor? In midair, a voice sounded immediately. Lord Li Shan put away the small star, hesitated for a moment, but couldn't help but sigh. Forget it, I've tried my best, and I'm afraid it will be difficult to move forward. I have learned a lot from this battle, it's time to go back and digest it. Lord Li Shan nodded, and then his figure disappeared into the scene, and he turned around and came to the outskirts of the restricted area. As soon as his figure appeared, countless people gathered around to please him. Lord Li Shan, congratulations, you are the choice with the highest layer. Lord Li Shan, the trick you used just now, I am afraid that even the junior level of the World Lord, it will be difficult to parry it. Too powerful. If I had Lord Alexandra's strength, I'm afraid I wouldn't be as indifferent as him. Lord Li Shan is currently several layers higher than King Tongzhou, who has comprehended the two original laws. Look, the King of Tongzhou has also come out. None of them made it past the 235th floor. Pity. There were many discussions. Lord Li Shan turned his head and saw King Tongzhou's head with one horn. He greeted with a smile. King Tongzhou, you also lost on the 235th floor. King Tongzhou nodded slightly. The 234th floor, I barely passed, but the enemies on the 234th floor are really too powerful. I have no chance of winning at all, so I can only admit defeat. The two chatted casually, and everyone around them looked at them in awe, but no one dared to step forward to disturb them. Suddenly, Lord Li Shan was stunned by his words, and his eyes suddenly fixed on a screen, which was a live broadcast of a person who continued to break into the restricted area. What's the matter? King Tongzhou was a little puzzled by this sudden movement, and followed the gaze of Lord Li Shan, looking at the screen. Seeing the battle of the people on the screen, the Coppersmith King couldn't help being surprised. Who is this person? Lord Li Shan said. It's Jin Feng, just like the Starry Sky behemoth who got the first place in the talent list with his great luck. At the same time, the 234th floor in the restricted area. Jin Feng looked at the 9 puppets in front of him, and couldn't help blurting out, Tiandue. It's really rare that Fengdu Immortal still has such a treasure. Tiandue needs immortal crystals to build. Although it was relatively weak when it was created, it has the characteristics of unlimited growth. As long as it is cultivated well, it is also a very powerful help. It is said that some strong people can even cultivate Tiandue to the immortal level, which is extremely short-lived. Jin Feng was able to say the name of Tiandue, so he naturally knew the characteristics of Tiandue, so he took a deep breath, and immediately transformed into the form of a Jin Yang monster, spraying a golden red liquid from his mouth, instantly covering a range of nearly 10,000 miles. Jin Yang Pool. And at the moment when the Jin Yang Pool unfolded, Jin Yang dragons and beasts also emerged, and the Jin Yang Pool suddenly became as hot as a star. Roar. In midair, 66 Jin Yang dragon beasts raised their sharp claws together and swung their blades. Kill. The 9 heavenly capital guards shouted loudly and raised their spears to try to resist, but the mighty blade light ruthlessly crushed them all. With one move, he killed Tiandue United, which was comparable to the junior level of the World Lord. This kind of strength is not inferior to the Lord of Li Shan and the King of Tongzhou. Therefore, he naturally caused a burst of exclamation. King Tongzhou looked at Lord Li Shan with a slight smile in his eyes. It seems that this Jinfeng is definitely not as simple as everyone said, it's just the so-called good luck. Lord Li Shan also pondered. This Jin Feng, I have also checked his previous battle videos. He definitely did not have such strength before. I am afraid that he got some opportunities in that secret realm. ... That's right. Tongzhou King nodded in agreement, and just wanted to continue, but seeing the scene of the live broadcast, he couldn't help but change the subject. Look, then Jinfeng is going to challenge the 235th floor. Lord Li Shan shook his head. The 235th floor is not so easy to break through. The difficulty of each floor will become higher and higher. If Jin Feng only has the strength he has shown, he may not be able to break through. The King of Tongzhou looked indifferent, but his eyes were fixed on the screen all the time. It's good to let him try it, and he will know where his limit is after trying it. Those who just got the opportunity and their strength climbed too fast, it is easy to be proud, without a clear understanding of one's own strength. Lord Li Shan nodded and continued to read. Congratulations, you have passed the 234th floor. Do you want to enter the next floor? Jin Feng shouted without hesitation. Yes. Immediately afterwards, the picture changed suddenly. The sky is full of yellow sand, and the eyes are bleak. Jin Feng looked around. Yanran changed his appearance on the battlefield. Just right, this is the first time I've seen it. Hoo hoo. Before the words were finished, a figure fell from the sky and landed on the battlefield. He stood on the ground, and an invisible aura permeated the air. So strong. Could this aura be the opponent of the high-level world lord? No, although the aura is enough, its strength is obviously greatly reduced. It should be sealed by Fengdu Immortal, and it can only display the peak of the first-level world lord. Strength. However, even so, its strength is still much stronger than that of ordinary world lords at the beginning stage, because its experience in combat and the use of innate secret techniques are incomparable to ordinary world lords at the initial stage. This is the last opponent I have ever encountered. Even Jin Feng's hands trembled slightly, not out of fear, but out of excitement. As if there is a gene eager to fight engraved in his heart, Jin Feng enjoys the feeling of facing a strong enemy, and never tires of it. Report. 81%. Chapter 73. Transformation Secret Technique. Fierce battle with the high-ranking world lord Manya clan. The smoke and dust in the sky suddenly condensed, and then it was smashed into pieces by a saber energy, and the fog on the battlefield was easily lifted. Although this move seemed simple, it contained exquisite control skills. Jin Feng was slightly taken aback, thinking that he could not do this kind of exact sword energy release. Jin Feng frowned slightly, and looked at the enemy in the distance. He saw that this person was extremely thin, but his face was evil. He was wearing white clothes, and he was holding a strangely shaped saber. His skin was blue, but his eyes were fiery red, and his hair stood up like a hedgehog. Not human, at least not human. Beasts in the starry sky. I haven't seen them for a long time. Fengdu Immortal really knows how to pick opponents. The red-eyed man stared at Jin Feng from a distance, as if there was lightning flashing and flowing, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, with a hint of sarcasm. Beasts in the starry sky, Fengdu raised my Manya clan in this small world just to sharpen you little guys. But sometimes, the beast in the cage will take your life, you will die, and I will be free. Oh, but I think you are just another stepping stone on my road to success. Jin Feng said in disgust. Yeah, the Iron Man shook his body in an instant, and his surroundings were like plasma flowing, and his whole body was like a thunderbolt, turning into a strange movement, flashing 490 times in an instant, approaching Jin Feng. The distance between the two sides was thousands of meters, but the speed of the Mengyu clan was so fast that they were just in front of them in an instant. At the same time, a curved knife with a strange shape also slashed at the speed with lightning flashes. Too fast. Jin Feng was startled, subconsciously waved his sharp claws, and danced in a circle. Instantly, the flames formed a hood to resist the attack of the comber. At the same time, he retreated dozens of steps, trying to create a safer distance. You can't get away. The Mengyu clan gave a strange cry, and the blue skin turned into a blue shadow. With a slightly distorted figure, it turned to Jin Feng's left side in a strange posture, and at the same time, the scimitar struck again. Retreat. Jin Yang Pool. Jin Feng turned around, and the golden red liquid in his mouth rushed straight up. When the Manyas had no time to dodge, he made a small cut on his body, and Jin Yangqi's powerful and slow power instantly enveloped the Manyas. His whole body made his figure full of beats. What is this? It actually slows me down. The Manya tribe's attack failed, but they were slowed down instead, so they took the initiative to distance themselves and looked at the Jin Yang Pool area that was nearly 10,000 miles bug around. I thought you were just practicing the way of fire, but I didn't expect to have such a means. How did you do it? What a mysterious secret technique. In my world, the will of the world cannot allow such a powerful secret technique to be bred. The Manya tribe was puzzled, and laughed grinningly. Then let me kill you first, then take your body back to the tribe, and study it slowly. He moved suddenly, coming without warning. Although the speed was not as fast as before, it was still beyond Jin Feng's ability to catch up. This guy's speed is too fast, and his power is impressive. After my palm touched his long knife, I felt the slightest paralysis effect. Obviously I can't resist it. Use a weapon. With a thought, Jin Feng randomly selected a long sword from the world ring. Most of the starry sky behemoths are not good at using weapons, which is also a big shortcoming, but it doesn't mean that Jin Feng can't. He even learned some low-level sword secrets, just for this kind of time. After all, sometimes, a weapon can block the enemy's attack and make oneself much safer. Jin Feng turned back into a human body, wielding his long sword, slashing and slashing with the power of gold and fire, while the sharp knife of the Mengyu tribe was like layers of defense, not only diffusing these attacks, but even had enough power make a change. Thump. The Manya tribe's scimitar seemed to be slashing straight down, straight for Jin Feng's head, but suddenly stopped this momentum halfway, and suddenly turned to his chest. Jin Feng's heart rang out, drink 10 beeps. Cut. The golden red brilliance flashed, and forced himself to temporarily change his moves, resisting the attack. Is this a combat skill? You know how to fight. Ha ha ha. Heaven does not treat my Manya tribe well. Bring you back. I am the first native of the Hunyuan world to learn the secret technique of combat. Seeing this, the Manya tribe was ecstatic, and looked at Jin Feng with a pair of blood-red eyes, but the offensive in their hands did not weaken at all. If you have practiced for many years, I may not be your opponent, but you have obviously embarked on this road not long ago, and if you really want to fight me head-on, I will definitely not be your opponent. While attacking, the Manya tribe used words to influence Jin Feng, hoping to use this to strike. The winner hasn't been decided yet, why bother? Jin Feng remained unmoved, and several times of tempering on the edge of life and death made him firm in his will. Although he did not dare to call himself like an iron stone, it was not something that outsiders could influence with just a few words. The Manya tribe only felt that although the strength of the giant starry sky beast in front of them was obviously lower than their own, the golden red field around them was extremely weird, not only slowing down the speed, but even containing endless heat, getting higher and higher. Impatient in their hearts, the Manya tribe suddenly stepped back tens of meters and put away their sabers. I didn't want to use this trick at first, but for you, I will make an exception. It's your pleasure, boy. The Manya people quacked strangely. The Manya family paused and stayed where they were. A vicious evil spirit swept the audience, as if something was about to break out from under the blue skin. A large piece of skin bulged and protruded. Inflate like a balloon. Not good. Jin Feng reacted and took the initiative to kill the Manya tribe. Instant sword. With a burst of stature, Jin Feng rushed in front of the Manya clan with a thrust, and then slashed down. Snapped. The slash was magnified by the long sword, and the red light almost included Ya clan's entire body. It's late, boy. The Manya clan snorted coldly, and a purple light was revealed all over his body, like the light refracted by amethyst. He waved his palm slowly, resisting the slash with his body lightly. You have no chance now. If it was said that the Manya tribe used the power of lightning just now, then their transformation at this moment is like the incarnation of thunder, with a violent and fierce evil spirit permeating the entire battlefield. The Manya clan held the blade of the long sword, and then slammed out their right fist, sending Jin Feng flying a distance of 300 or 400 meters in one fell swoop. How do you feel now? Still want to fight? Jin Feng wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and suddenly the corner of his mouth curled up. Although you are very strong, I'm afraid you won't be able to kill me. As he spoke, he stepped back a distance. Immediately, 88 dragon beasts emerged from the Jin Yang pool. The violent and sharp aura made the Manya tribe startled, but they still shook their heads with a sneer. Report. 82%. Chapter 74. Enlightenment on the battlefield, Crazy Manya clan. These strange beasts, combined, may be able to kill a demigod junior at an average level. But I'm no ordinary demigod. I am the patriarch of the Manya tribe, and I am about to step into the gods, but this damn guy Fengdu actually arrested me. He is afraid of my talent. You outsiders, you all deserve to die. After all, the Manya tribe suddenly let out a strange cry, and dodged again. The purple figure dragged a strange figure, dodged several times over the battlefield, and then turned around suddenly and landed in midair. Shish. As the Manya clan's figure flickered, those Jin Yang dragon beasts didn't even have time to react. They were crushed by the Manya clan, turned into pure divine power, and fell into the Jin Yang pool. Did you see it? Beasts in the starry sky, you outsiders are just the food of our chaotic source world, you should all be damned. Resistance is useless. The Manya tribe laughed loudly while moving their figures. 88 dragons and beasts fled in all directions, trying to capture the figure of the Manya clan and encircle it, but no matter how they moved around, they could not catch the figure dancing around, and were defeated one by one, turned into pure god power dispersion. In less than a moment, out of the original 88 dragon beasts, there were only less than 10 left. Starry space behemoth, die. Without the hindrance of the Jin Yang dragon beast, the Manya tribe grinned grinningly, and their figure flickered, and they came to Jin Feng in the blink of an eye, and the fist wrapped in purple crystals descended as if carrying the source of the law of thunder, and swung it down. Boom. Jin Yang dragon beast. If this punch hit Jin Feng, even if he didn't die, he would be seriously injured. In desperation, Jin Feng could only hastily condense a Jin Yang dragon beast in front of him. Roar. As soon as the Jin Yang dragon beast emerged, it was penetrated by a hand with purple plasma, and then turned into divine power and scattered. And that fist tore apart the Jin Yang dragon beast, and still had some strength left, and pierced straight towards Jin Feng's head. The power of this fist has been weakened by the Jin Yang dragon beast, but it is still amazing. Jin Feng had no choice but to raise his sword to block it. Ding. The edge of the long sword touched the fist, but it only supported for a moment before it shattered into pieces and fell. And the remaining impact force fell on Jin Feng, enough for him to barely resist it. As for Jin Feng, he also saw the right timing, and spit out a golden rainbow from his mouth. The Mengya clan failed in one blow and was attacked instead. Seeing this, they had to retreat 1,000 meters. Jin Feng also took advantage of this time to use his divine power again, and dragons and beasts appeared in the air, filling the entire Jin Yang pool again. Impossible. This kind of secret technique should consume a lot of divine power. How could you activate it a second time? The Manya tribe was full of disbelief, but they still sneered. You think this is all right? Sooner or later, your divine power will be exhausted, but my speed only needs to consume a small amount of divine power. As he said that, the Mengya tribe attacked again, and the dragon beasts in the air also besieged him, trying to block his figure. At this time, Jin Feng also gradually mastered the rhythm of the battle, and arranged all the dragon beasts in front of him to block the attack of the Mengya tribe. Although for the Manya tribe, the siege of the dragon beast is almost no threat, because his speed is too fast. As long as he keeps moving, the blade light of the dragon beast cannot fall on him. On the contrary, the Mengya tribe can slaughter dragon beasts at will, and almost every time they flash their bodies, they can annihilate one or even several dragon beasts. But Jin Feng didn't care too much. Every time the Mengya tribe wiped out a dragon beast, he would use his divine power to condense the dragon beast again to help out. Anyway, for him, there are several incarnations of the endless tree devouring divine power at the same time to supply himself, and even one of the incarnations of the endless tree is still in the endless world of immortal crystals. Shenwan can be called endless. Even if it takes thousands or hundreds of millions of years, Jinfeng can maintain it. Damn it, starry sky behemoth, why are you so full of divine power? It must be the special treatment given to you by that fellow Fengdu. Damn it, if you have the guts, come out and fight with me. What's the point of standing behind? Come out, starry sky behemoth, come out. The Manya tribe moved and attacked while cursing. Suddenly, the Mengya tribe froze for a moment, looked at Jin Feng who was guarded by many dragon beasts in disbelief, and shouted, You are actually comprehending the law. And on the verge of success. How could you? Damn it. Starry sky behemoth, you must die here. Ask for flowers. The Manya tribe was furious. The starry sky behemoth in front of him, relying on its profound divine power, blocked him outside, and had no intention of attacking. Now he is still in the battlefield, starting to comprehend the law of origin. This is simply using him as a whetstone and a stepping stone. What a shame. The purple crystals all over Manya's body shook, and then burst out with an unbelievable momentum, and the purple plasma around them also shrank suddenly, and then broke out into a more violent state. The Manya tribe's speed suddenly increased a bit, killing the dragon beast in the air. You're dead, starry sky behemoth. Even if I try my best to damage the origin, I will kill you. The dragon beasts in the air decreased one by one, but the newly added dragon beasts could not make up for the vacancy that was slaughtered. From this point of view, in less than a moment, the Mengya tribe can break through the siege of the Jin Yang dragon beast and kill Jin Feng on the spot. But Jin Feng suddenly felt as if he was out of the matter, and even sat down cross-legged with half-closed eyes, took out a small jade bottle from his arms, dripped a drop of liquid from it, and poured it into his mouth. Fighting is the best tempering for a starry sky behemoth who is naturally warlike. My talent is very average, I can only feel the operation of the law of heaven and earth at the most dangerous moment. Sapphire cold marrow, come. A drop of cold liquid fell into Jin Feng's mouth. Starry sky behemoth, this is the consequence of your contempt for me. On the other side, the Manya clan had already slaughtered all the dragon beasts in the air, and Jin Feng was not distracted to condense the dragon beasts again because he was enlightening. Immediately afterwards, the Manya tribe turned their cruel and scarlet eyes to Jin Feng who was sitting cross-legged on the ground, and could not help but sneer. Starry space behemoth, go die. The figure of the Manya tribe disappeared in place like lightning, and then came to Jin Feng in the blink of an eye. The violent and fierce purple plasma lingered on the fist, as if to break the space and shatter the genichi, hitting towards Jin Feng. There is no doubt that if Jin Feng is hit by this blow, his body will be instantly annihilated, leaving nothing left. Arto. In the air, streaks of golden light suddenly emerged, descending on the entire battlefield with an unquestionable aura. Report. 82%. Chapter 75. Life and Death Experience, the original law of gold is achieved. These golden rays of light, like the original will of the universe descending, carried an unquestionable and irreversible supreme taste, and even the hearts of the people watching the battle were faintly shaken, as if they had seen something incredible. What? Is this the law of the origin of gold? Jin Feng, he actually succeeded in comprehending the original law of gold on the battlefield. Too crazy. Jinfeng, the name is estimated to spread throughout the entire wind dominance star region soon. Jin Feng has comprehended the law of the origin of gold, and has a secret technique that is not inferior to star map. Does it mean that he is really qualified to sit on the top of the talent list, and it is not just luck? Suddenly, someone raised a question. However, someone quickly vetoed it. Jin Feng has only just comprehended the law of origin, and his 327 accumulation and combat experience are far from beings like the King of Tongzhou and the Lord of Lishan. At most, he can enter the top 10 genius list. It's not bad. Some people also echoed. That's right, each of the top 10 geniuses has mastered at least one law of origin and one secret technique, and their strength can compete head-on with the early existence of the World Lord. And King Tongzhou has mastered 2 Dao origin law. I heard that he even faced a 5th order World Lord head-on, but retreated without injury. His strength is unfathomable. How could he be squeezed out by a Jin Feng who has just comprehended the law? Hearing this, everyone nodded in conviction, and a cold and violent voice suddenly rang out, lingering in everyone's ears. What is Jin Feng? It's just luck, and he deserves to be a genius. Predecessor. Looking back, I saw a huge figure about 500 meters away, sneering. It was the one who was squeezed out of the top 10 by Jin Feng. As soon as Ba Mo opened his mouth, no one dared to speak, and they were all silent. After all, everyone is very clear about the character of vengeance in pulling out demons. Ba Mo continued. This Jin Feng, luck is really good. First he was able to see a treasure, won the first place in the genius list, and then comprehended the original law of gold in the battlefield. Tisk tisk. Maybe it was not his own practice, it's just that there is a powerful person behind the scenes to teach him. The meaning of pulling out the demons is that Jin Feng is not actually a wandering starry sky behemoth as everyone imagined, but a very powerful power standing behind him. This power does not hesitate to face, even in this genius test, helping Jin Feng cheat. He obtained such a good resource and position. Having said that, many people couldn't help shaking their heads. Although this kind of conjecture is not impossible, it is really too wild. And Lord Lishan on the side couldn't help but sneer. Ba Mo, what you said seems to be jealous of others. Li Shan, do you want to protect Jin Feng? Ba Mo's face sank, and he said through gritted teeth. Although he must retaliate, Ba Mo also knows that persimmons are soft. Facing Lord Lishan, who has been in the top 3 geniuses all year round, he can only grin his teeth as a threat, but dare not make a real move. After all, although Ba Mo is a special life form, it is difficult to be killed, but once he fights, he will be ravaged by Lord Lishan, and he will be in a mess. The King of Tongzhou said lightly. It's just casual talk, and it's not for protecting anyone. After all, what is Jin Feng's strength? Is it luck? I believe everyone can see clearly. As soon as these words came out, everyone seemed to wake up. Everyone was slightly taken aback, and then they noticed something different. That's right, although it seems that Jin Feng's so-called luck, when you think about it carefully, is somewhat suspicious. There are millions of contestants entering the Fengdu secret realm. How come that treasure was picked up by Jin Feng and not snatched by other strong people? There is also the epiphany of the original law of gold on the battlefield. Apart from luck, the most important thing is that Jin Feng dared to swallow a drop of sapphire cold marrow under the berserk attack of the Mengya tribe, and then comprehend the law. This requires not only extraordinary courage, but also judgment on the situation and absolute self-confidence. A little bit of detail hovered in everyone's minds, and then intertwined into a net. From this point of view, this Jin Feng might be a rising star. That's right, even King Tongzhou is optimistic about Jin Feng, which is pretty good. However, whether Jin Feng can pass through the 235th floor is still unknown. Let's read it slowly. Star Observation Tower Restricted Area, 235th degree. A golden law of origin came down, like a shield, isolating the attacks of the Mengya tribe. The Mengya clan yelled, and then retreated 1,000 meters, with a deep sense of unwillingness in their eyes. Understand the law in the battlefield. Very good, very good. Sure enough, you are the primordial cosmic beings known as the spirits of all things. Not only are you powerful, but you are also the best in all worlds. I hate it. If there is a god in my Mengya tribe, why do you reptiles come to fetch it? Disgrace. The Mengya family looked like they were insane. They looked up to the sky and screamed, as if they had great hatred. Jin Feng moved his body, only to feel an unprecedented power rippling from his body. Following his movements, a golden halo was rippling within a kilometer around him. Is this the law of origin? What a pleasure. It's no wonder that a genius who has mastered the law of origin will treat those who have not mastered it like ants. Jin Feng looked around. Everything around him seemed to be covered by layers of metal, and he was the master of this field, as if he could grasp everything and see through everything. And the movements of the Mengya clan were no longer weird and hard to see clearly, as if he was watching the movements around him, as if watching slow motion. Even if you have mastered the law of origin, so what? When I comprehended the law of thunder, you hadn't been born yet. Take it. The Mengya tribe let out a mournful cry, and 2.6 passed on this monstrous hatred to the giant starry sky beast in front of him. The amethyst figure turned into a streamer and rushed towards it, and the scimitar slashed down fiercely like a thunderbolt. Oh, is it so? Jin Feng smiled slightly, waved his hand casually, and the golden halo in the air, as if alive, gathered together and condensed into a giant sword in his hand. This giant sword is made of metal, but it has an indescribable taste, as if it is extremely sharp, and can cut through everything in this world. That's right, this is one of the characteristics of the original law of gold understood by Jin Feng, sharpness. Jin Feng was no longer as embarrassed as before, but easily blocked the series of attacks with his sword. Jin Yangqi once again enveloped the Manya tribe's whole body, causing his speed to drop to the same level as his own. Report, 82%. Chapter 76. Killing the Mengya clan, shamelessly pulling out demons. Jin Feng even had the strength to sarcastically say, "Foreigner, the speed you are so proud of seems to be nothing more than that. Why don't you just surrender? I might let you die quickly." The Mengya tribe dodged a sharp sword chi, but the power of the original law that followed made him terribly embarrassed. He turned around and twisted his waist, intending to fight close to him. Go away. When the sword fell to the ground, Jin Feng immediately slammed towards the left with all his strength. This sweep was so powerful that the Manya tribe had to take a few steps back to distance themselves. Instant sword. Cut. With a flash of Jin Feng's figure, he still staggered and stood in place. The Mengya tribe who wanted to judge the situation of the battle didn't even react, and was chopped off by a sword. This sword, as if holding the power of heaven and earth, struck down fiercely like a whole mountain peak. No, impossible. How could you? Boom. The violent explosion caused Jin Feng to receive some impact, and he took a few steps back. When the smoke in the battlefield gradually dissipated, he saw the Manya tribe, bathed in light blue blood, kneeling on the ground with a terrified expression. Jin Feng's figure was about to run away. 13. Fengdu, let me out. I don't want to die. Fengdu, you villain, is it not enough to imprison the Mengya tribe for so long? How many years? You just devoured some ordinary humans. Wind alone. Wind alone. The body of the Mengya tribe is in disarray. Although it seems that there are no missing parts, they are extremely embarrassed, and their fighting spirit has dissipated completely. Even the purple crystal secret technique has been dispelled. When they didn't get a response, they all burst into curses. You must die today. Jin Feng stepped forward holding a sword. Manya's face changed. He knew that begging for mercy from Jin Feng would be fruitless. He just got up in a hurry and retreated, but he was hit by Jin Feng's long sword on the way. The long sword aroused the golden fire, wrapped in a terrifying power, turned into a sword energy, and went straight to the surface of the Baya tribe's broken skin. Ah, humans, I curse you outsiders. Arc slash. Ah, outsiders, you all deserve to be eaten by us. Jin Feng listened coldly. He raised his sword and stood sideways, and the last slash passed by. The strongest opponent Jin Feng had ever encountered, the Manya clan, lost his anger, lay down on the ground, and died. There was a rumble in the sky. Congratulations, you have passed the 235th floor. Do you want to enter the next floor? Jin Feng pondered for a moment, then shook his head and said, no. In fact, Jin Feng still has a lot of whole cards left. For example, the purple vine avatar can easily resist the attack of the Mengya tribe, and maybe even seize the flaw and kill him. There is also the sword intent breath of the universe venerable, which is also hidden on the world tree, and can be used at any time. But these were all cards Jin Feng used to save his life. He didn't want his avatar to be revealed so soon, so he forced himself to comprehend the original law of gold on the battlefield, and then reluctantly beheaded the Mengya tribe. Once these whole cards are leaked out, I am afraid that immortality exists, and they will all come to trouble themselves. After all, the purple vine avatar is too exaggerated. Even an existence like the Lord of the Universe is very envious of this special life. After all, as long as it is slightly cultivated to immortality, it will be able to match the combat power of the Supreme Master of the Universe, as a strategic force. For immortality, it is even more crazy. It is too easy for them to cultivate a world lord, and once the purple vine breaks through to the level of a world lord, it will be able to fight the immortal existence, and even only the universe lord can kill it completely. If you can control the purple vine and cultivate it to the level of the world master, it is equivalent to being able to walk sideways in the entire immortal stage, and no one can match it. Therefore, Jin Feng hid the purple vine and dared not take it out. As soon as Jin Feng walked out of the restricted area, he saw a bunch of people looking at him at the same time. The eyes they cast on him contained various complex emotions. friendliness, puzzlement, doubt, admiration, flattery, jealousy, envy, hatred. What's wrong? Jin Feng was a little puzzled, but when he turned his head, he saw a 1,000-meter-high stone tablet, on which were the rankings of the top 10,000 people in the restricted area trials. Among them, the third and second place are Lord Lishan and King Tongzhou respectively. And the first name is Jin Feng. The 235th floor, so it hasn't been challenged yet. That's it. Jin Feng shook his head helplessly. He originally thought that without using the Wisteria avatar, he barely challenged the 235th floor and would be ranked in the top 10 at most. Unexpectedly, the difficulty of this level is so high that even King Tongzhou, who has been firmly sitting at the top of the genius list, is helpless. But this is just a trivial matter. Jin Feng didn't care too much. He was about to go back to the residential area, when he heard a voice shouting at him. Would Jin Feng be interested in drinking 10 cups? Looking back, he saw a man with one horn and red hair and a man with bald head and gray pupils smiling friendly towards him. Jin Feng hesitated for a moment, then clasped his fists and said, King of Tongzhou, Lord Lishan. I have just comprehended the original law of gold, and I have learned a lot, so I dare not rest. I want to go back and stabilize my situation. Quote. Small things. It doesn't matter, as long as you have a heart. King Tongzhou and Lord Lishan didn't care much, and nodded to him. Unexpectedly, before Jin Feng had time to turn his head, he heard a faintly angry voice coming over. Peak Jin 897, have you comprehended the original law of gold? HMPH, it's just a law, and I just can't wait to show it off. When I comprehend the law of origin, I am afraid that your ancestors have not yet been born. Jin Feng turned his head slightly and saw Ba Mo's huge figure full of evil aura. Hearing his sarcasm, he just smiled and said, You are a special life with an infinite lifespan. You have practiced for hundreds of millions of years, but you are only at the peak level of domain masters. Understanding a law of origin can only prove that you are a waste. I can reach the realm you have reached in less than 300,000 years. Easy to set foot on, understand? Ba Mo was furious when he heard the words, and said angrily, Jin Feng, you are just a junior, how dare you offend me? I want to fight to the death with you, do you dare? Life and death battle. As soon as the words came out, everyone exclaimed. Fighting is prohibited in the Star Observation Tower, which is a regulation personally issued by Feng Du Immortal. The purpose is to maintain order, otherwise the Star Observation Tower will not be peaceful for a day. However, in order to adjust certain contradictions, Feng Du Immortal also set up a ring for some people to use to resolve contradictions. After all, in the entire universe, the weak prey on the strong, and it is impossible not to fight, and many conflicts can only be resolved through violent means. But on the arena, you can strike at will regardless of life or death. Report, 82%. Chapter 77. Isn't it a battle of life and death? I accept it. The life and death battle is a group arena where two parties enter the arena and fight until one party dies before leaving the group arena. Generally, only the two enemies who dare to enter this life and death battle. Battle of life and death. This is too shameless to pull out demons. That is, relying on the fact that I am a special life, I will bully others. He's shameless. It's not a day or two. You didn't know until now. A group of people talked a lot, and even Lord Lishan and Tongzhou King frowned slightly when they saw this, and scolded, Ba Mo, you are a special life, it is too shameless to invite people to fight to the death. The king of Tongzhou even snorted coldly, besides, brother Jinfeng, you just comprehended the original law of metal, so unlike you, it must have been hundreds of millions of years since you comprehended the law of wood. Although the strength of pulling demon is at the bottom of the top 10 in the genius list, and the original law he understands is only the original law of wood, with very weak attack power, so King Tongzhou and Lord Lishan don't care much about him. This is only in the middle of the trial. When it comes to life and death battles, the status of pulling out demons is not even comparable to Lord Lishan and King Tongzhou. Although Ba Mo's strength is not strong, but he is a special life, born with a strong body, which means that his divine power is more than that of ordinary strong people. What's more, the law of the origin of wood comprehended by Ba Mo is one of its characteristics, endless life, which has strong vitality and absorption efficiency of divine power. And the powerful level of life genes makes it difficult for even Lord Lishan and King Tongzhou to really kill him. The law of the origin of wood makes pulling demon like a fish in water in the war of attrition and has the upper hand. Therefore, in the life and death battle, pulling demon was almost invincible, and those who were fooled into the ring by him were exhausted by him without exception. In addition, Jin Feng's strength is just that he has just comprehended the original law of gold. Compared with Ba Mo, an old monster who has lived for an indefinitely long time, his understanding must be more than a little weaker. Therefore, Lord Lishan and King Tongzhou angrily reprimanded Pulling Demon. Naturally, Jin Feng had also heard about the shamelessness of pulling out demons, but he didn't expect him to have the nerve to say these words, so he immediately sighed and walked forward. Staying with this kind of guy for a second, it seems to be worthless. However, before he had gone a few steps, he was stopped by Ba Mo. Why don't you do it? It turns out that there are times when you are afraid of being number one on the genius list, ha ha ha. Then you, the number one position, why don't you give it to me? Sit, how about? Jin Feng said coldly. Ba Mo, I've heard of your shamelessness, but I didn't expect your stupidity to be even better. Since you want to fight to the death with me, you must at least give me some if you want something to tempt your heart, otherwise I will fight with you for no reason, wasting the time of practice. Do you think I am an idiot like you? Seeing that Jin Feng's tone seemed loose, Ba Mo hurriedly said, HMPH, those who participate in the life and death battle have the right to collect all the inheritance of the defeated, you don't know that. Jin Feng yawned, how do I know what you have? Maybe it's all scrap metal. Pulling out the magic energy, he smiled back, grabbed his world ring, and sent a message to Jin Feng, broken copper. Boy, you may not know that I am a special life, born in some special circumstances, many of which the place is called the Jedi of the universe, and few people can enter it. There are thousands of treasures in it, and there are countless rare treasures in the universe. I have lived for tens of billions of years. As long as you collect a little, the things you take out can make you, a little guy, jaw drop. Jin Feng carefully felt the message from Ba Mo, which contained all of Ba Mo's property. This Pulling Demon is really not talking nonsense. His assets are really rich. I'm afraid it's not much better than some world lords. The most important thing is that the 300 drops of sapphire cold marrow are not used for pulling out the demons. It should be that the sapphire cold marrow is not very effective for special life. Jin Feng searched carefully, heartbroken. Resources are no longer a problem for Jin Feng. After all, piles of immortal crystals can allow him to avoid most of the difficulties in practice. Now only some strange things can make him tempted. For example, the 300 drops of sapphire cold marrow. Jin Feng believed that if he used these sapphire cold marrows, even if he could not be as monstrous as the king of Tongzhou and comprehend the two original laws, he would be able to comprehend the original law of gold to a deeper level. Hey, this is. Jin Feng suddenly found a strange thing in a corner of the world ring. It was a flower, like weeds on the side of the road, unremarkable, but the aura it exuded surprised Jin Feng. This. The scent of this flower. Why is it so similar to that weird giant tree? Shocked, Jin Feng quickly sneaked into his mind, looked at the strange giant tree stored in his body world, and compared it. He came to a conclusion. The breath is similar, but different. Could it be that it came from the same place as the giant tree? What is the origin of the giant tree? Why is there such a huge immortal crystal space in the chaotic source world? There is also Fengdu Immortal who occupies the chaotic source world, and then lied that he opened it up. What's the secret behind it? In an instant, Jin Feng seemed to sense a huge secret that could shake the universe from that flower. I must get this flower. That giant tree, just a piece of broken branch, can make King Soul Map display such terrifying strength. This flower may also have a magical effect. Immediately, Jin Feng nodded and said, okay, Ba Mo, I agree to your request. Jin Feng, good Jiao. No, brother Jin Feng. The king of Tongzhou and the lord of Lishan both opened their mouths to block in surprise at the same time. A life and death battle with pulling demons is equivalent to courting death. But before the two could stop it, Ba Mo grinned and said, if you promise, you must fight. This is the rule passed down by Fengdu Immortal. Do you want to challenge the authority of Immortal? The king of Tongzhou and the lord of Mount Li were taken aback when they heard the words. Their faces were livid and they dared not speak again. This rule is indeed passed down from immortality. Although they are known as the top geniuses in the entire Fengdu Star region, their status and strength can be compared with ordinary world masters, and even advanced world masters in the future will be the leader of the world masters. But in fact, they dare not question the immortal decree. That is immortality. Even among millions of world lords, it is difficult to find one immortal god. The two could only look at Jin Feng with sympathy and regret. Report, 83%. Chapter 78. Fight hard to pull out the devil, the law of life Ghostface Vine. Everyone also reported their unfavorable attitude. After all, special life is really too cheap in the war of attrition. With a happy expression that finally got his revenge, Ba Mo laughed and said, okay, then let's go to the Star Observation Tower immediately. After all, he directly and generously paid 20 chaos units, and teleported Jin Feng and himself to the stage. Pulling out the demons is going to have a life and death battle with Jin Feng. The news spread like wildfire, and within a day, it spread to the ears of all the geniuses in the star observation tower. That so-called Jin Feng who got to the top of the talent list by luck actually wants to fight a life and death battle with the special life of the strong. It is simply a spectacle that is hard to see in a million years. Countless people even gave up the trial in the restricted area and flocked to the arena to watch the battle. Jiwei witnessed this rare battle. Many people were puzzled by Jin Feng's idea of sending death on his own initiative. This Jin Feng is really too courageous. Doesn't he know that pulling out demons is a special life that relies on the original law of wood? In terms of strength, Bamo's rank in the top 10 of the genius list is a little bit reluctant, but his divine power can even exceed 100 times the peak of ordinary domain masters. Not to mention that he is the law of the origin of wood, and he focuses on the party that is good at continuous combat like endless life, even if it is the king of Tongzhou and Lord Lishan, Zhujiao 273 It can also easily kill them. That's right, I heard that although Jin Feng has comprehended the original law of gold during the battle, his foundation is not stable. The demon who has been comprehending the original law for hundreds of millions of years has a very strong understanding, and Jin Feng can't compare with it at all. Everyone sighed. Jin Feng, a new star who is just about to rise, is probably about to fall. On the ring, Bamo grinned grimly, and said disdainfully, Jin Feng, do you have any last words? Say it, and I will let your friends know, ha 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 ha. Jin Feng sighed, and said casually, Bamo, since you want to die, I'll let you do it, so as not to be surrounded by flies around your ears in the future. Bamo sneered and waved his arms, you can talk hard now, and I'll see if you don't smile so much. Senra hell, Bamo shouted loudly, and the air suddenly infiltrated with a dark green breath, like the boundless ancient forest, full of vitality with an admirable barbaric atmosphere. However, to the enemy, these vitality means the news of death, because under the urging of the dark green light breath, vines broke through the hard floor of the arena and rose from the ground, growing thousands of vines in the blink of an eye. Meters height. These vines twisted like tentacles and rushed towards Jin Feng's position. That's all, Bamo, don't you underestimate me. Jin Feng sighed, opened his mouth wide, and spit out endless golden red liquid like an ocean pouring down, forming a golden red field within a range of 10,000 miles. As soon as Jin Yang Pool appeared, the temperature in it rose steadily, and it rose to 20 million degrees in just one breath. This temperature is a bit higher than the interior of ordinary stars. And those vines that attacked Jin Feng also withered and annihilated in an instant, turning into ashes and dispersing. Bamo, if you want to test me, why use this kind of tactic and just use your favorite secret technique? Jin Feng laughed casually. Although pulling demon is shameless, he is very cautious when fighting. Usually, he will test first, and only after he knows how much the enemy is, will he plan to make a serious move. HMPH, even though you are number 1 on the talent list, you rely on luck, but you still have some strength, so don't blame me for going all out. Bamo sneered, and then the outline of the whole person gradually faded away, as if he was invisible in the air. Come and taste my innate secret technique. Vientian. In an instant, the vitality in the air seemed to be transformed into substance, forming circles of ripples rippling in the space, and the original law of green wood floated in the wrinkled space and penetrated into the ground. Hoo-hoo. The vines rose from the ground again, but this time the plants were bright red, and at the top B-day end, there was a huge flower bud with a very human face, which made people feel horrified when they see it. 300 blood-red plants surrounded Jinfeng, like forming a large formation in a cage. Is this plant the ghost face vine? Jin Feng was surprised when he saw the blood-red vine. This ghost face vine. It is a rare plant life. It can be said that it is even rarer than some special life. Although its life gene level is not high, only about 10 times higher, it has a very terrifying characteristic. That is, this kind of plant life seems to be the favorite of the natural law of wood. Even in its infancy, its attacks will be accompanied by the law of wood, a breath of air. Therefore, for the level below the World Master, the strength of this ghost-faced vine cannot be calculated by the usual level at all, and it must be upgraded by at least 3 levels to be considered its true strength. As soon as the ghost-faced vine appeared, each plant suddenly spit out a wooden thorn from its mouth. Whoosh! Jin Feng revealed the real body of the Jin Yang monster, resisted the first wave of attacks abruptly, and then began to flee. There is no other reason. Although the wooden thorns of the ghost-faced vine do not seem to have a high attack strength, they carry the aura of the original law of wood. Jin Feng can harden the attack of wooden thorns, but he can't resist the original Kongla. In desperation, Jin Feng had no choice but to wave his big hand. Jin Yang Dragon Beast. Boom. The air condensed suddenly, and a group of Jin Yang dragon beasts appeared from the Jin Yang pool, and then waved their sharp claws, and began to attack the ghost-faced vines. However, the combined attack of these dragons and beasts can even shake the existence of the World Lord in the early stage. However, the ghost-faced vine is obviously not at the peak level of the Domain Master, and the Jin Yang dragon beast attacks, but it looks like it doesn't hurt or itch, and even spits out more wooden thorns, piercing the dragon beasts one by one. Ha ha ha, Jin Feng, these ghost-faced vines are born with the law of life, and ordinary divine power attacks can't affect them at all. If you want to destroy the ghost-faced vines, you should use the original law of gold you just learned. Ba Mo didn't know where he was hiding, and when he saw this, he laughed wildly, with bursts of sarcasm in his words. The law of origin. In desperation, Jin Feng could only sigh, and then looked at his palm. Arrival. A golden halo emerged, surrounding Jin Feng. And Jin Feng also changed back to human form, and an épée condensed from laws quietly emerged in his hand. Cut. Jin Feng swung the épée, and a golden sword energy of hundreds of meters struck the ghost-faced vine in the air like a frenzy in space. Report. 83%. Chapter 79. Fierce battle to pull out demons. The terrifying talent of the endless tree. This is what it looks like. Pulling the monster laughed twice. With an incomparably sharp aura, the golden sword energy smashed several ghost-faced vines into a ball of powder. Even the space seemed to be cut by the golden sword energy, and there was a faint shattering, which could not be reunited for a long time. The power of one blow eliminated the little ghost-faced vines. Jin Feng was relieved, but before he had time to be happy, the green aura-like dense fog surrounded the eliminated ghost-faced vines. Dance up. After a while, several ghost-faced vines rose from the ground, filling the vacancy. Haha, Jin Feng, you don't think that this is all I have, do you? Ba Mo laughed loudly in the sky, with an indescribably proud taste. In terms of strength, you are still far behind. Today I will teach you a lesson. What is being a man with your tail between your legs? Oh yes, you are going to die here today. I'm afraid you have no chance. Whoosh. Countless wooden thorns were spat out by the ghost-faced vine, and fell down like a torrential rain. While avoiding and blocking, Jin Feng was thinking about how to break the situation in his heart, and remained silent. And this scene, in the eyes of others, seemed like Jin Feng was struggling to resist, and he had realized the difference in strength between himself and Ba Mo. Hey, this Jin Feng, who could have become a new star in the top 10 of the talent list, why did he agree to the challenge of pulling the devil out of nowhere? Still too arrogant. That's right. Even influential figures such as Zhu Zhaohe and Lord Lishan would not dare to fight to the death with pulling demons. Doesn't this Jin Feng know the name of pulling demons? Pity. Extracting demons is a special life form, and it takes advantage of the battle state of consumption. These words fell into Jin Feng's ears, causing a smile to appear on the corner of his mouth. War of attrition. Am I afraid of a war of attrition? Just one incarnation of the endless tree can give Jin Feng a reserve of divine power that surpasses that of ordinary domain masters. And Jin Feng has at least 20 incarnations of the endless tree. Not to mention, one of them still exists in the immortal crystal space. It can be said that even if you look at the entire universe, you can't find the existence of Jin Feng who is at the same level and can beat Jin Feng. Jin Feng looked around to dodge, just to defeat Ba Mo as soon as possible. After all, the time for practice is limited, and every minute and every second is very precious. He wants to kill Ba Mo as soon as possible and get that flower. Ha ha ha, Jin Feng, weren't you still very arrogant just now? Why are you so embarrassed now? Keep talking big. Pulling the devil laughed wildly and swung down more wooden thorns. No matter how much sword energy Jin Feng slashes and hurts those ghost-faced vines, the original law of green wood condensed in midair will quickly repair them. Move. Live endlessly. But it's powerful, just like the aura of these ghost-faced vines, which obviously consume a lot of divine power to launch an attack, but their aura doesn't lose even 10 traces. Jin Feng shook his head and sighed, a little helpless. Although he has comprehended the original law of gold, he is just getting started. It is too crude. According to his speculation, there are only two ways to defeat the demon. One is to pile up the power of the original law, and defeat the green mist in midair, which is the power of the original law of wood, in one fell swoop. When the time comes, these ghost-faced vines will completely dissipate without power supply. The second is to consume with pulling out demons. Although it is known as endless life, the power of law that a domain master can mobilize is limited after all, but relatively speaking, the consumption is relatively small, and the reserve is relatively large, so it can easily consume those who are strong at the division level. And Jin Feng's divine power is infinite, which is several grades higher than the power of the law of pulling out demons. But the most important thing is that Jin Feng doesn't want to be wasted with pulling the devil. What should I do? Use purple vines. No, this whole card must not appear in advance. Jin Feng immediately thought of the purple vine avatar, but rejected it in an instant. Although the purple vine avatar is only at the 4th level of the domain master, its combat power is already comparable to the high-level existence of the domain master, and under immortality, no one can kill it. Defeating a little demon pulling out is naturally just a matter of hand. However, this purple vine is used by Jin Feng to deal with immortal beings. Although it has not yet been upgraded to this level, it cannot be brought to life in advance, otherwise it will attract the attention of immortal beings, and then he will be finished. Ask for flowers. The breath of the venerable sword mark. It has to be like this. The endless tree has absorbed as many as 5 wisps of the venerable sword scar breath. And every strand of it is enough to kill the existence of the world lord, and even deter the immortal, allowing him to freeze for a short period of time. It is conceivable that this kind of killing weapon is too much fuss to deal with a small demon. However, Jin Feng has no other good solution. After all, if it is a war of attrition with the demons, I am afraid that this battle will last for tens of thousands of years, and it may not end. After making up his mind, Jin Feng opened a small hole in the space in his body, and was about to draw out a wisp of the breath of the venerable, but the clone of the endless tree, as if smelling something, began to become restless. 0. The clone of the endless tree seems to want to devour something. Jin Feng instantly noticed the abnormality of his clone, and then passed the garden consciousness into the clone of endless time. Want to devour the green fog in the sky. That's the original law of wood. Could it be that the endless tree can swallow even the original law? God. Jin Feng was astonished. The law of origin, that is the essential law of the universe, for anyone, it is almost an irreversible will. And this endless tree can swallow even the original law. But after thinking about it, Jin Feng still sighed. The incarnation of the endless tree, even the sword marks of the venerable who split a galaxy, can devour and refine it. What is the power of the original law of a mere domain lord? Immediately, Jin Feng suddenly shouted to the sky, Ba Mo, if you are brave enough, then take my move. Ba Mo sneered in the sky, Jin Feng, don't think about resisting, you won't be killed by me in the end, why bother to work so hard? Why don't you be obedient and let me manipulate you, maybe I'll let you go. Jin Feng sneered, and his figure was like a cannonball, sprinting into the air. Seeing this, the 10 one-horned and red-haired men in the auditorium couldn't help but frown and said, what is Jin Feng doing? He actually sprints towards the tree's original law of wood in the air. This is simply courting death. And a big man with a bald head and gray eyes next to him couldn't help but sighed. Report. 83%. Chapter 80. Absorb the power of the original law and master 2 original laws at the same time. This Jin Feng must have realized that he can't defeat Ba Mo at all, so he wanted to commit suicide. The two were Lord Lishan and King Tongzhou who came to watch the life and death battle. They all made the same judgment on Jin Feng's behavior. Even pulling demons in the battle is no exception. Ha ha ha, Jin Feng, have you finally awakened? Come on, let the power of the original law wrap you up, and then tear you into pieces. Jin Feng's speed was incomparably fast, and just before stepping into the thick fog of the original law of wood, suddenly a dense golden light rippling around him, like a shield, wrapped him in. The power of law at the same level can only be resisted with the power of law. Like a silkworm chrysalis wrapped in golden silk threads, Jin Feng easily broke through and entered the center of the green fog. And the dense green fog began to shrink without any intention of, continuously bombarding the golden silkworm chrysalis, breaking the shield into cracks in a short while, and it seemed that it would be broken in a short while. Quack quack, Jin Feng, you're dead. I heard that every piece of flesh and blood in the starry sky monster is a treasure. Your world core is a rare treasure. I don't know how much you can sell it for, ha 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 ha. At this time, Ba Mo, who had the chance to win, put away his cautious temper, revealed his real body, and stood in front of Jin Feng with a proud expression on his face. However, seeing Jin Feng's face as calm as water, Ba Mo couldn't help but feel a little uneasy in his heart, but this strangeness was quickly diluted by the joy of revenge. After all, they were trapped in the domain of their own laws. Even if the king of Tongzhou wanted to struggle out, it was almost impossible. A mere Jin Feng, he can suppress and kill with a flip of his hand now. Thinking of this, Ba Mo was extremely proud, and just about to open his mouth to ridicule again, but suddenly froze for a moment, then his face changed wildly, and he said angrily, how is it possible? The power of my law. Jin Feng, what the hell did you do? No, how did my power of law dissipate? Ba Mo was terrified and looked around in panic. The originally thick green fog that could not be seen through gradually dissipated as if it had been melted by the scorching sun for some reason. And the source of the power of law is the golden peak in the center of the dense fog. Jin Feng, what did you do? While Ba Mo roared, he hastily retracted the original law, but even if he reacted quickly enough, most of the dense fog in the air was absorbed by Jin Feng. This is the power of law that he has accumulated for hundreds of millions of years. Just like that, most of them were scattered by Jin Feng. But at this time, the culprit, Jin Feng, half closed his eyes, his consciousness was immersed in his inner world, and he was not afraid of the attack from outside at all. Without the support of the power of pulling out demons, once those ghost-faced vines are destroyed, they cannot regenerate, and there is not so much divine power to launch intensive attacks. And although there is still less than half of the power of the law left in the demon pulling, but he is also afraid of using it and dare not use it. Now, inner world. Above the endless tree, there are streaks of dark green mist, which is the embodiment of the original law of wood. Through the avatar of the endless tree, Jin Feng felt the aura of this original law. It's scary, it's amazing. The endless tree is devouring these original laws. Jin Feng was stunned for a moment, then ecstatically. Directly contacting the power of the original law, for me, the participation efficiency is equivalent to increasing by tens of millions of times. And, if the endless tree can directly refine the power of these original laws, does it mean that I can directly grasp a law of origin? Such a bold idea made Jin Feng's heart speed up slightly, and he couldn't help but nodded, try it first. And at this moment, the outside world. Jin Feng suddenly seemed to be in a trance, with his eyes closed and completely motionless, but because of the golden law around him, it turned into a shield. This series of astonishing changes made some people on the field look overwhelmed. They didn't pull out the demons, so they didn't know why he suddenly withdrew the power of the original law. Even the king of Tongzhou and Lord Lishan who were watching were the same. Seeing Jin Feng stop suddenly, he was even more puzzled. What happened? Wasn't the fight just now very intense? Why did they stop all of a sudden now? You know, the rules of this life and death battle, but only one person can walk out of the ring. Jin Feng stood still, comprehending the original law of wood in the inner world. And pulling the devil at the side was even more cautious, not daring to make a random move. He was afraid of Jin Feng's weird method of absorbing the power of the original law. But if you make a move, if you want to break through Jin Feng's golden law shield, you have to use the power of the same level of law to break it. Jin Feng, although I don't know why your methods are so weird, but I can tell you clearly that even so, you still can't defeat me, because I am a noble and special life, and the genetic level of my natural life is as high as 100 times. Little guy, it's a piece of cake. Ba Mobian threatened, but his eyes flickered on Jin Feng's body. Do you think your secret technique is amazing? Is it a chance in the Fengdu secret realm? But for me, it makes no difference, because your understanding of the law is too naive. Even if I have the last bit of law left power, I can still defeat you at will. HMPH, you want to pretend to be like this to lure me into attacking. I'm not an idiot. After a long time, Ba Mo almost said all the words he could find in his mind, but Jin Feng in front of him still kept his eyes closed and meditating. But at this moment, Ba Mo finally realized from the rules and regulations around Jin Feng that Jin Feng actually shifted his consciousness to another level, not to lure him to take action, and immediately became furious, waved and summoned 3.0 to summon a ghost-faced vine, angrily shoot out a lot of wooden spikes. HMPH, play tricks, go to hell. Whoosh, the wooden thorn flew away, and with the power of the original law, it hit the shield, causing waves of spatial fluctuations. Haha, that's really the case. You actually underestimated me, and your consciousness shifted to another place. Go to hell. But just when Ba Mo was satisfied and wanted to continue to pursue the victory, the situation of the battle suddenly changed slightly. Jin Feng's body was originally entwined with the golden aura of the original principle of gold, but now, Ba Mo was horrified to find that strands of green mist were also rippling on Jin Feng's body. How? How is this possible? Is that the law of the origin of wood? Is it possible that my eyes are dazzled? Report, 83%. Chapter 81. Killing and pulling out demons, retreating for enlightenment. Jin Feng is one of the giant beasts in the starry sky, the Jin Yang monster. He is born with dual attributes of gold and fire. Generally speaking, he rarely touches other origins. Even if he is a part-time master, he is only practicing space and time. Besides, how could the aura of the original law of wood be so familiar? This is not mine. Ba Mo's face was full of disbelief. And the audience who observed this scene were also like gangsters. Is that another breath of the original law? That's right, this shocking aura is definitely another source law. My god, is it possible that Jin Fengfeng is the second guy besides King Tongzhou to comprehend the law of double origin? Jin Feng just understood the original law of gold, why is it possible now? Too shocking. With a burst of admiration, the king of Tongzhou, who was watching this scene, couldn't help but say, it's unbelievable, this guy Jin Feng has comprehended the law twice in the battle. Lord Lishan's eyes were filled with admiration and envy. Oh, if I could be like this Jin Feng, or like you, mastering two original laws at the same time, it would be great. Bronze 15 Chu Wang laughed loudly. Lord Lishan, you are too greedy. Your star map cultivation to the 9th floor is no less difficult than comprehending an original law. If you are asked to comprehend the second law of origin, the difficulty is not as difficult as being directly promoted to the master of the world, which is more realistic. As he said that, Lord Lishan sighed. This Jin Feng, I don't know what benefits he got in the secret realm. He is clearly ahead of him, but his ranking is only after 200,000. I didn't expect that his strength is only 10,000 years old. To be able to crush the two of us is really terrifying. Today's Jin Feng has mastered two completely different original laws, and possesses the secret art of Jin Yang Pool. As long as he has a certain amount of time to lay the foundation, he can easily surpass Lord Lishan and even the king of Tongzhou wait for existence and sit firmly on the number one throne. That's right, but we can't ask directly. It's because he was lucky, and we can only be envious. King Tongzhou also sighed. In the universe, it is very taboo to ask about other people's chances and secret techniques, unless it is a relationship such as close relatives. Because this is equivalent to the questioner's whole card. Let me ask, in a universe full of dangers and the jungle preying on the weak, who would be willing to expose their vulnerable side? On the ring, the fog condensed in the midair became thicker and thicker. Jin Feng opened his eyes and looked around, with a hint of green in his eyes. Is this the law of the origin of wood? AJ. After absorbing these powers, I actually mastered the original law of wood in one fell swoop. Although it's just an introduction, it's far from reaching the realm of pulling out demons, but it's still too surprising. In this universe, I have never heard of the fact that you can comprehend the original law just by absorbing the power of others. What is the origin of this endless tree? Jin Feng couldn't help recalling the young senior who gave a seed to him that day, and his heart was full of confusion. But for a moment, Jin Feng focused on the current situation. Jin Feng, you actually have the power to devour other people's laws, and then turn it into your own ability. It's amazing. When Ba Mo saw the power of law around Jin Feng, he was angry and frightened at first, followed by greed that broke through his head. Being able to devour other people's laws and supply them for one's own use is simply appalling. You must know that there is no shortcut to comprehend the law, at most it is just to let yourself have a little more comprehension, this is an iron fact. However, but now there is such a secret method, and when he saw it, he became greedy, and even made him forget his current situation. In the primordial universe, there is such a secret technique. I am afraid that if it is spread out, even the strongest in the universe will be tempted. After all, this is related to the original law. Just as Ba Mo was about to speak, Jin Feng's words soared into the sky with a burst of sword energy. Forget it, pull the demon, you deserve to covet my things. Take your life. After all, an incomparably sharp sword chi entwined with the power of two laws struck Ba Mo's face with an incomparable aura. Ba Mo was still thinking about Jin Feng's secret technique, but he didn't expect his attack to be so swift and violent. His left arm was cut off by the sword energy immediately, and traces of cyan liquid oozed out. Ba Mo's face turned pale immediately, and he hurriedly wanted to escape, brewing up the little power of law left, wanting to resist. But as soon as the green mist condensed, it was completely absorbed by Jin Feng's strange suction, and sword lights surrounded Ba Mo's body. Boom, boom, boom. After a few loud bangs, the blue blood was leaking all over Ba Mo's body. He looked at Jin Feng who was gradually approaching him in horror, and kept begging for mercy. Jin Feng, get around me, I am willing to be your slave. Jin Feng, I am a special life, I have grown up very well, I can give you the source of my soul. You can't do this, I'm willing to give all my treasures, as long as you can. After a scream, Ba Mo's huge body was cut in half and discarded on the ground at random. And in the air, a voice echoed. This life and death battle, Jin Feng wins. Seeing this scene, everyone was boiling. Golden Peak. Euro 260. On the battlefield, he comprehended two original laws and defeated Jin Feng, who is known as the master of the life and death battle. This name, like a whirlwind, was passed down from mouth to mouth among all the talented players in an instant. Like a rising star, its momentum has even overwhelmed the old powerhouses such as Lord Alexandra. Even this name has been passed down to the aloof immortal Lord of Ears. B. Jin Feng didn't care much about all of this. In order to avoid those meaningless polite words and compliments, he picked up the world ring left by the demon and teleported it back to his residential area. Jin Feng breathed a sigh of relief after he issued the order not to accept anyone and to seal the gate. The frenzied eyes and cheers of the audience just now almost shattered him. It is more interesting to practice alone. Enter the inner world. Jin Feng raised his hand, and two colors appeared in his palms, one gold and one green, both of which contained a powerful aura. These two battles have benefited me a lot. For the next time, I will lay my foundation for cultivation with peace of mind. Anyway, it is estimated that no one will be able to break through the 235th floor for a while. Jin Feng secretly said in his heart, and then completely immersed his mind in the cultivation and comprehension of the original law. Report. 84%. Chapter 82. Fenghu Powerhouse Yan Beast God, Immortal Shot. In the blink of an eye, 10,000 years have passed. During the 10,000 years, two major events happened. One is the little-known Ice Fan City Lord, who ranks 135th in the genius list, condenses his origin, breaks through the realm of the World Master, cuts hundreds of layers of restricted areas, and finally fails below the 235th layer, but his ranking is so far, but only second to Jinfeng. It is a very slim thing for a domain master to break through to a realm master. Although the top 10 geniuses claim to must enter the realm of realm masters, it is still a mystery when they will be able to step into the realm of realm masters. And among the geniuses, an existence who broke through the realm of the world master appeared, and even Fengdu Immortal was alarmed, rewarding the city master Bing Fan with many treasures, and intentionally brought him under his command. The second thing is that thousands of years ago, a representative of an immortal god family from the distant Mozang star area suddenly visited Fengdu Immortal. This incident was widely spread, but no one knew what the two immortal beings were going to discuss. Anyway, for them, it was an impossible matter. The arrival of 10,000 years means the end of the Genius War. Fengdu Immortal came forward and bestowed a lot of treasure resources to everyone according to the ranking, and absorbed some of them into his own universe. Strangely, Jin Feng, who was ranked number 1, did not show up for the closing ceremony, but few people cared. After all, it is worth putting more thought into counting your own treasures than paying attention to other things. After the ceremony, go to the upper area of the Star Observation Tower. In a magnificent palace, Fengdu Immortal's handsome face was a bit more worried. He paced in the palace, as if he was thinking about something, which made him very embarrassed. Not long after, two figures appeared in the palace, a man and a woman, with a huge difference in size. The enchanting woman asked as soon as she entered the palace, "Fengdu, could it be that Lin Sheng is persecuting you again?" Fengdu sighed and said, "That's right, that's true. He has been asking me to hand over Jin Feng, otherwise he will tell his patriarch about it." Quote. The immortal patriarch, that is, the marquee-level powerhouse, Yan Beast God, who has mastered 10 large star regions, is not something our little immortals can resist. Shen Huo also spoke. Then hesitatingly said, "It's better. Fengdu, you just hand over Jin Feng. If Jin Feng killed Doro, it doesn't count as your lack of protection." Mo Li Immortal also nodded. "What can I do? Beat the younger ones and jump out of the older ones." Although the disciples of these aristocratic families claim to go out to experience life and death, they are really about to die. But it will also make the beheaded person pay the price, and even ask the venerable to spend a big price to reverse time and space to resurrect. It is really. Having said that, Mo Li closed his mouth, not daring to say anything more. After all, even if she has a few lives, it is not enough to arrange a strong marquee. Fengdu smiled wryly. Compared to what you all know, Duo Luo's character is considered good even if he is called a devil, and he was the one who provoked trouble first when he was beheaded by Jin Feng. Besides, if Jin Feng is handed over just like this, how many people will be able to attract to participate in the next talent competition? Because of the existence of disciples from aristocratic families, no one dares to take action at will, so what's the point of this battle? You can't pick out real geniuses to join me in the Star Observation Tower. Shen Huo pondered for a moment, and said, "But we can't disobey the meaning of Feng Hu Chang, so where is Jin Feng now?" "He's still practicing in the residential area of the Star Observation Tower." Fengdu sighed. "I wanted him to run away quickly, but this Jin Feng has been practicing for so long. Every time I use the divine sense when investigating, I always feel as if something is blocking me, and I can't see clearly." "You can't even see immortality." Mo Li's face changed, and he suddenly said, "Then Jin Feng, since he entered the secret realm, he seems to be a different person, and his strength has risen too fast. Could it be?" Quote. Speaking of this, Fengdu also frowned. "This is the only possibility. You must know that Secret Realm is not just as simple as a secret realm, that's. Speaking of this, Feng Du shook his head, and changed the topic. For now, I plan to delay Linsheng Immortal first, and then secretly transfer Jinfeng out of this star area. At that time, I can't blame Yan Beast God. On my head. But before the words could be spoken, a deep and majestic voice suddenly appeared in the hall. Feng Du Immortal, today is the last day. I haven't seen Jinfeng's figure yet. Is it possible that you want to protect him? Immediately, a hunchbacked figure appeared in the hall, and in the blink of an eye, he came in front of the three of them. Seeing this person, Feng Du was at a loss and said, living as immortal, didn't you promise to give me 2,000 years of consideration? Linsheng Immortal interrupted directly. That was before. I just received an order from the Patriarch, asking me to immediately bring Jinfeng back to the clan for punishment. Feng Du Immortal, is it possible that you want to disobey my family's orders? It's not worth it just for a regional master, right? Speaking of this, Feng Du only felt that his forehead was covered with cold sweat, and it was hard to imagine that a mortal, who was usually aloof, would have such an embarrassing moment. Feng Du pondered for a moment, then sighed, and said in his heart, Jinfeng, it's not that I don't protect you, it's really what you committed. It's too outrageous, to actually behead the son of Yan Beast God's favorite. It caused him to cross dozens of star regions, and he also came to arrest him. Now, if I don't let go, I'm afraid I will be beheaded. That's all. Immediately, Feng Du said, since this is the case, Linsheng is immortal, then Jinfeng is hiding at the top of my star observation tower residential area, if. Originally, Feng Du wanted to lead the way, but after Linsheng Immortal heard where Jinfeng was hiding, he Qian Nuohao sneered and his figure disappeared on the spot. At the same time, the three people present felt that a terrifying aura was flying towards the star observation tower residential area. It is the immortal who wants to go and arrest people in person. The three of Feng Du, Mo Li, looked at each other in blank dismay, and then flew over together helplessly. To arrest people in his territory, at least the master has to show up. And Linsheng, who traveled 1,000,000 kilometers in an instant, came to the sky above the residential area, and the two vertical pupils exuded a cold smell, sweeping across the mountain. HMPH, so it's here. Linsheng Immortal sneered, and immediately condensed his divine power into a big hand, pinching towards the top of the mountain. This mighty hand formed by condensing at will, like pinching tofu, can easily crush the mountain peaks that are millions of kilometers long. This is the power of immortality. Even a random blow can shatter the stars, devour the heavens and the earth, unrivaled. Report. 84%. Chapter 83. 10,000 Years of Growth, World Lord Violet Birth. Even if it is the existence of the peak domain master, if it is hit head-on by this blow, I am afraid that it will have to struggle to resist, let alone a peak domain master in the Jinfeng area. This scale is immortal. Does he have no intention of saving Jinfeng's life at all? Seeing this, Feng Du Immortal was startled, and immediately reacted. I'm afraid he has no intention of taking Jinfeng back at all. He wants to repay him and then hurry up. Thinking of this, Feng Du shook his head inwardly. People would say that he didn't do enough to protect such an act when people talked about it in the future. It's really ridiculous to let an outsider kill the first place in this talent competition in his own territory. However, Feng Du had nothing to do. After all, although this young man is not considered high among the immortals, and his combat power is average, there is a powerful Marquis Lord Yan Beast behind him. Looking at the ruins, Feng Du sighed. It is estimated that Jinfeng has been pinched to death by this divine hand. Just about to turn around and leave, suddenly. From among the ruins, there was an astonishing momentum faintly, and then a giant golden beast with a height of 100 meters flew out of it. You are Jinfeng. I didn't expect you to be quite capable. You survived after taking my trick, ahahaha. Immortal Linsheng was stunned for a moment, but he quickly realized that his eyes were fixed on the giant golden beast, and he couldn't help but lick the corner of his mouth with his tongue, looking bloodthirsty. 227, it's really good. In just 10,000 years, you actually broke through to the World Master. Not bad. Not bad. Looking at the entire star area, you can be regarded as a genius, but it's a pity. Linsheng Immortal's eyes narrowed. A spear suddenly condensed in his hand, and he threw it fiercely at Jinfeng's position. It's a pity that you are going to die today. This spear, reminiscent of the mighty force with the supreme power. Even the sky and the earth tremble faintly. The space that the long hair flies past is full of broken glass slag. Even though he was still tens of thousands of miles away from Jinfeng, he seemed to know that he would die in his heart, and he couldn't even escape. If this spear hits, not to mention Jinfeng will be annihilated into ashes, even the entire star observation tower will be cut off by half of the area. Feng Du Immortal's pupils suddenly enlarged, and he wanted to intercept it, but the spear traveled thousands of miles in the blink of an eye, and came to Jin Feng. Quick. Too fast. Jin Feng's heart beat suddenly. Is this the power of immortality? Terrible. When I was the Domain Lord, I could beat the Domain Lord with Golden Bfed Yangqi. But in the period of the World Lord, he couldn't even resist the attack of immortality. The gap is really too big. There was shock in Jin Feng's eyes, but there was no despair. Violet, show up. Call out. A huge purple shadow with a height of 10,000 meters suddenly appeared between the sky and the earth, waving a vine easy to intercept the spear that can hurt 10 immortal gods. And the purple figure appeared, and the entire star observation tower felt a wild and ancient atmosphere, which made people's hearts tremble violently. What is this? Can it resist my attack? Sheng looked at the front of the eyes unrighteously, his eyes were full of disbelief. The purple vine breath in front of him seemed to have never heard of this race. And this purple vine, whose aura is only in the early stage of the World Lord, easily resisted the full calendar from the immortal. How appalling is this? Even Luo Feng, the number one human being, has never had such an exaggerated record. Feng Du Immortal and the other three were also shocked and looked at each other in blank dismay. This purple vine, clearly about the second level of the World Master, why can it easily resist the immortal attack? Could it be an immortal in disguise? Shen Huo immediately retorted. Why does immortal pretend to be a world lord? And when fighting, don't pretend to be a breath, wouldn't it make it more difficult? Mo Li also nodded, and said awkwardly, so. It is very possible that this purple vine can resist immortality with the strength of the world lord. Feng Du Immortal took a breath. Could it be a secret technique against the heavens? Or a treasure? Shen Huo shook his head. Look at this purple vine. His aura is any race you have ever heard of. Mo Li came to his senses, stared into Shen Huo's eyes, and said in disbelief, could it be possible, you mean? Shen Huo nodded. That's right, this vine is probably a special life, and the level of life genes is very high. Feng Du also reacted in an instant, but his heart was still shocked. I have lived for endless years, and I have seen a few special beings, such as the pulling demon. But none of them can be so heaven-defying, and they can resist the world in the early stage of the world. Immortal attack. This. How much life gene size multiple is this? 10 times. Twice. And the other side. Lin Sheng Immortal's pupils suddenly lit up with a red light, glanced at Ziluoteng's body, and then dimmed again. What the hell are you? Why can you still catch a blow? The purple vine clone didn't answer, it just twitched a vine at random, returning to life and throwing it away. Snapped. Lin Sheng Immortal is not good at speed. When he was hit by the purple vine, his whole body was like a shooting star, crashing straight into the mountain peak in the residential area, smashing it out of a crater with a diameter of 10,000 meters. Immediately afterwards, several vines did not give the enemy a chance to breathe, and attacked again. Lin Sheng Immortal hurriedly mobilized his divine power, and forcefully pushed himself thousands of miles around to barely escape this series of fatal attacks. One blow actually caused me to lose 16% of my body. Lin Sheng Immortal got a short respite, and quickly checked his physical condition, even horrified. After becoming immortal, energy and life imprints are fused together, and any trace of cell fragments contains soul imprints, and the loss of divine power is the loss of life imprints. The more life imprints lost, the greater the impact on strength. Generally speaking, for the immortal divine body, within 10% of the loss, it has almost no effect on strength. With a loss of 30%, only 50% of the strength is left. With a loss of 50%, only 10% of the strength is left. The loss is 70%, and the strength is less than 1%. Lost 90%, fell into a deep sleep, lost consciousness, may slowly recover during the long deep sleep, or may slowly continue to wear and tear until it falls. And the purple vines cost him 16% of his body in just one blow. That is to say, as long as the purple vines attack a little more frequently, it will be difficult to resist all the attacks at the speed of immortality, and there will always be 2 or 3 strikes on the body. And these few attacks can easily put him into a deep sleep. Report. 84%. Chapter 84. Killing the immortal gods with flip hands, the power of the World Lord Purple Vine. Even directly annihilate death. How is this possible? I am an immortal god. If it was a marquee immortal who made the move, that would be fine. And the attacker is just a second-order life of the EC Master. Run. I am no match at all, I must run immediately. Lin Sheng Immortal was terrified. His original arrogant and disdainful attitude was swept away, replaced by panic. He didn't even want to say anything about the scene, and even burned his divine body directly, and flew towards one side. HMPH. Daughter-in-law Bowl. Jin Feng sneered, and immediately mobilized the purple vine clone, a vine that spanned the world and intercepted Lin Sheng Immortal at 30 times the speed of light. Damn, how can there be such a life that defies the sky? Is it a treasure, or a secret method, or even a special life? Lin Sheng Immortal saw the vines blocking in front of his eyes, and immediately despaired. His speed, even the burning divine body, is only 10 times the speed of light. And this vine can easily break through 30 times the speed of light, even relying on physical strength without mobilizing divine power. Such a horrific gap made him unable to raise any resistance, so he stopped immediately, turned around, and shouted at the purple vine with the remaining courage. Plant life, do you know that behind me is the Lord Yan Beast, the immortal existence of Fenghu? I was ordered to kill Luo Feng and capture his soul. It has nothing to do with you. Why do you have to press hard? Jin Feng sneered and said, at this time, don't you look so arrogant. I thought that you were an immortal god with an endless lifespan, and you don't even have time to speak. Just now, this immortal man couldn't help but gather a big hand, wanting to kill him directly. He couldn't help but say a word, but now he only cares about begging for mercy. It's ironic. Jin Feng, you killed Yan Beast God's favorite son, and he is very angry now, asking me to take your soul back within 10,000 years, and put it in a prison for slow torture. Lin Sheng Immortal looked at the purple vines, but still could only bite the bullet and said, plant life, although you are strong, it may not be easy to face a powerful marquis. It's just the master, why bother with Yan Beast God? Violet did not speak, as if in silence. Lin Sheng Immortal's face lit up. He thought that the purple vine was hesitating, and was about to say something, but before he could say anything, the vines all over the sky came to him. Whoosh! The vines formed an airtight cage, which wrapped the immortal scale in it, and then shrank suddenly. A howl came from it. My lord, please forgive me. Ah, Yan Beast God will avenge me. I was wrong, I would like to be your slave, please don't. Don't force me. Burst. Boom. Accompanied by a voice of despair, Lin Sheng Immortal resolutely chose to blow himself up. The self-destruction of immortal gods is stronger than the most terrifying supernova self-destruction. However, with such a violent explosion, there was only a soft sound in the prison composed of violet vines, and then there was no movement. After confirming the death of Lin Sheng Immortal, even the breath was gone. Jin Feng withdrew the purple vine, and then took back all his world rings. After a brief check, he was very pleasantly surprised. The lifelong treasure of an immortal god is really amazing. Even if it is 1/10 of it, it is far more than the sum of all the resources and wealth I have before. Jin Feng nodded, and was about to urge the purple vine clone to take him away, but a voice stopped him. My lord, if you don't mind, why don't you come and sit in my star observation tower and have a cup of tea? I saw Fengdu and the three of them flew down, landed in front of the purple vine clone, and invited them respectfully. In the battle just now, Fengdu, Shenhuo and Mo Li witnessed the whole battle with their own eyes. How terrifying is it that a special life that is only the second level of the world master can easily kill an immortal god? You know, even if they are veteran immortals who have lived for endless years and seriously injured several gods, they have never been able to kill an immortal. It is too difficult to kill a mortal completely. Generally there are only two ways. The first is soul destruction. The immortal destroyed by the soul, although the energy of the whole body is not lost, but it seems to be poisoned, all the soul imprints are penetrated, and as time goes by, the soul imprints will be shattered and they will die naturally. Asking for flowers. It is possible to achieve this step. First of all, there is a large gap in strength. Secondly, you must be proficient in soul attack methods. Soul means, compared with the genetic level of life, is also extremely difficult to practice, and many lives have no soul, such as some plant life, all rock life, machine race and so on. That is to say, a strong person who specializes in the soul is helpless in the face of these beings. In addition, it is too difficult to practice, and there are very few people who practice soul attack in the entire universe. The second is energy annihilation. The pure energy consumption continuously annihilates the opponent's immortal power into nothingness. When an immortal god is completely annihilated, without a trace of energy, those who die naturally cannot die again. This method, first of all, has an overwhelming advantage, and secondly, it needs to consume an astonishing amount of immortal power. For example, Purple Vine can damage 16% of Lin Sheng Immortal's body in one blow, which is an overwhelming advantage. Therefore, to kill the immortal, it is generally the ability to far surpass this immortal. Generally, it is the Fenghu Immortal who kills the immortal of the army lord level, that is, the existence of ordinary immortals is more common. Like the second level of the world master, the example of easily beheading the army master's immortality. Up to now, I am afraid that there are not many in the universe. Therefore, Even though the Purple Vine avatar is only at the second level of the World Master, Fengdu and the other three dare not be disrespectful. After all, the Purple Vine avatar can easily kill Linsheng. Killing the three of them, I'm afraid it's just a flip. It's no different from crushing 3 ants to death. The three of Fengdu Immortal saluted and said, "My lord, besides drinking tea, I have something important to tell. It is related to the Yan beast god behind Na Linsheng Immortal. Please be respectful." Jin Feng originally wanted to say something casually, but when he heard this, he thought for a while. Yan beast god, that is, the Fenghu Immortal in Linsheng Immortal's mouth. Nidoro really has a great background. He actually comes from such a family. It's a pity that you have not risen up yet, so you have confessed to me. Immediately with a thought, the 10,000-meter high Purple Vine clone turned into a purple-haired and green-eyed young man about 2 meters tall, standing in front of the three immortals. "That's fine, you guys lead the way. My name is Zishan, you can use this name as Guang." Report, 84%. Chapter 85. Fenghu Immortal Yan Beast God, Sanhua's Secret Realm opens. Seeing this, Feng Feng's face was overjoyed, and he hurriedly led the way. A group of people entered the palace on the highest floor of the Star Observation Tower. Along the way, the three of Fengdu were making sidelines about the relationship between Zi Luotang's avatar and Jin Feng, but Zi Luotang's avatar just said plainly, "Jin Feng and I are best friends, and we came here this time to protect him from becoming the world lord." I didn't expect to encounter such a blinding thing. Mo Li and the others were secretly surprised. Especially Fengdu, looking at Jin Feng with extremely complicated eyes. 10,000 years ago, Fengdu was still aloof and immortal. He placed Jin Feng and others at random, watched them fight for fun, picked good ones to earn under his command, and rewarded some resources and so on. But today, because of his relationship with the Purple Mountain, in front of him, Fengdu can only be polite to Jin Feng, and dare not be disrespectful at all. 597. Entered the main hall. Fengdu was the landlord, and quickly arranged banquets, singing and dancing, etc., while the human form of the Purple Vine avatar swaggered and sat in the highest position, followed by Jin Feng, Fengdu and others. While watching the glamorous singer dance and drinking fine wine, Jin Feng did not forget what he said about Fengdu just now, so he said, "Fengdu is immortal, my brother is not good at words, so I will ask you on his behalf, may I?" How could Fengdu dare to say no? He secretly glanced at the Purple Vine avatar who was drinking by himself, nodded immediately and said, "Brother Jin Feng is talented and intelligent, he can break through the World Master in just 10,000 years, and his achievements will not be lower than that in the future. Lord Zishan, it is natural to act on your behalf." From the words, it was obvious that he directly called Jin Feng, brother, and wanted to cling to his thigh. But what's ridiculous is that a high-ranking immortal god actually humbly flatters a world master who has just been promoted, which is very ironic. Jin Feng ignored these compliments, and immediately asked directly, "The three immortals just said that there is something important to inform, I don't know what it is." Immortal Mo Li quickly continued, "Brother Jin Feng, what happened? You once killed Doro in the Fengdu secret realm." Speaking of this, Immortal Mo Li observed the expression on Jin Feng's face, and saw that there seemed to be a slight change in color, and immediately changed the subject quickly. Of course, Na Duo Luo's actions are rampant, and his heart is like a monster. Brother Jin Feng killed well. It's just doing justice for the heavens. Jin Feng waved his hand lightly, "That's not the point." Mo Li showed a flattering smile. A hint of embarrassment appeared on his charming face. His eyes were fixed on Jin Feng, and he said quickly, "After Na Duo Luo died, someone notified his family, that is, Fenghu Immortal Yan, the family of the beast god. The Yan beast god is very powerful. It is said that since the endless years, his strength has even faintly broken through to the immortality of the king, and he has 10 immortal servants under him, each of whom is controlled by him with the secret method of the soul, loyalty. And that Linsheng is one of the immortal servants. The secret method of Yan beast god is very strange. When a servant dies, he can go back to the scene when the servant died and watch it carefully." Quote. Jin Feng half closed his eyes, and slowly continued. "Therefore, Yan beast god probably already knew about my brother's aura, and is ready to take revenge at any time, right?" Fengdu Immortal nodded slightly. In fact, he is also somewhat selfish. That Yan beast god acted domineeringly. If Jin Feng and Ziluo Tang's avatars left like this, it would be hard to guarantee that Yan beast god would have no place to vent his anger, and he would come alone against the wind. He is a little immortal. How can he find a strong man like Yan beast god? At that time, it would be fine to lose his wealth, but he was afraid that he would be killed in a fit of anger. Yan beast god, a mighty marquis immortal. Jin Feng pondered. With his current strength, with purple vines, all lives below the universe venerable will be ravaged by him. Although it is difficult to kill Fenghu Immortal and Fengwang Immortal, at least they can easily save their lives. In other words, Jin Feng is not afraid of the Yan Beast God. However, Jin Feng didn't intend to babble with others. After all, his ambition is not just to wander in a large star area. There are many other places in the universe waiting to be explored. Jin Feng originally wanted to leave, but suddenly, Shen Huo in the banquet changed his expression, and even accidentally knocked over the wine glass. What's the matter, Shen Huo? Feng Du was a little nervous. Although knocking over a wine glass doesn't seem like a big deal. But who knows what kind of temper that Purple Mountain is? In the universe, there are many violent and bloodthirsty people. There are not a few people who kill people because of a glass of wine. After Shen Huo glanced at the purple vine avatar who was still drinking for fun, his ugly expression subsided a little, and he whispered, "The secret realm of Wanghua has actually been opened ahead of schedule." Sanhua's secret realm, isn't it going to be opened after 1,000,000 years? How come? The three of them whispered timidly, but they were noticed by Jin Feng. He couldn't help feeling curious, and immediately asked, "What is the Sanhua secret realm you're talking about?" Feng Du was stunned for a moment, and then explained, Three Flowers' secret realm, although it is called a secret realm, is actually similar to the Jin world, and is an independent small universe, but the original will of the universe can also affect its existence. When it was first discovered, the venerable universe who investigated it thought it was just a large secret realm. I didn't expect that. The more I investigated, the more I was surprised. Its area is extremely vast, wider than the world of Jin. However, since the name, Three Flowers Mystery Realm, has been widely spread, the matter of changing the name has come to nothing, and it has continued to this day, and it is also called the Main Flower Secret Realm. Jin Feng felt a little curious. There is no definite conclusion on the formation of the secret realm of the universe until today. Some people say that it was formed by the fusion of the universe outside the original universe, so the secret realm has rules that are far from or even completely different from the original universe. Some people also say that these secret realms 0.6 are the corners of the kingdom of God left behind by the true God powerhouses of the previous era, and even the eternal true gods and other existences who died. Just like the world of Jin, it is the kingdom of God of the legendary King of Jin. No matter how people speculate, all in all, in these secret realms and small universes, there will always be treasures of heaven and earth, even the most powerful treasures that make the life of the original universe covet. Therefore, as long as one side of the secret realm is opened, even an existence like the Lord of the Universe is willing to go for it. In this regard, Jin Feng is very curious and yearning. After all, he has the combat power of a purple vine avatar, and he can only be beheaded if he takes a shot at a level above the universe venerable. How rare is the master of the universe? Across the 100,000 star area, there is at most one marquee immortal. Our area, there is at most one marquee immortal. Our area, there is at most one marquee immortal. Our area, there is at most one marquee immortal. Our area, there is at most one marquee immortal. Our area, there is at most one marquee immortal. Our area, there is at most one marquee immortal.